champ is here.
I'm going to continue to stand with the people.
The champ is here.
I will not lose.
I'm a bad man. I shook up the world.
Yes, welcome. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with we. And when I say we got a full group, full house that's ready, loaded. Because we had some events that's happened over this month, and in the month of April, we attempt to cover some and a lot of the topics that happened, whether it's one of our old shows that we recorded this week, or just really what's happening in the world of sports from our perspective, from the cultural perspective. So, without further ado, I'm gonna just start bringing them in. So, hey, when you guys come in, please just say hey. Announce yourself, and once I get everybody in, man, we're going to get locked and loaded and have a great time. So thank you for your time. If you haven't already, you need to subscribe to the channel, YouTube, IG, TikTok. We're everywhere. Just anywhere you see Black as Sports, man, subscribe, support the channel. And thanks for the dance, man. I'm going to start bringing everybody in.
Yo, Mr. National. Mr. International.
What's good, Dr. Space?
King G in the building.
It's your girl Eb, everybody.
Bobby Stills.
Bobby.
What up?
So, and MH will be joining us in a second, man. So, hey, as always, I thank you all for jumping on. And I just want to throw out a few things, kind of just getting started. The month of April, who knew it was going to end like this? And, Marley, did you get a chance to introduce yourself? I'm so sorry before I got started.
What's up, y'all? Marley.
Oh, no, you're going to put some... Put some bass in that. You gotta speak up. Speak up. All right, so I'll start because this is something that's kind of been an issue for the people for a while. So this is more of a question where I want to get your opinion, right? And it could be just nothing, and we'll move on. But a tradition, we did a show on this, like, would you go to the White House? So we probably need to clip that show up and put that show back up because it's a held sports tradition that's happened. And today, the Philadelphia Eagles, our 2025 champions of the NFL champions, went to the White House. But before they got to the White House, man, there was just a little bit of Black Twitter, and Twitter got some activity going on about Saquon. All right, so their championship running, game-changing running back played golf with Trump. And there were just a lot of issues about him playing Trump, and he actually responded. So I guess my first thought, it would be if you had a comment on it, or just whether or not, especially because I do have some golfers on here, would you play golf with Trump? And Mr. International is waiting to see what everybody else is.
I was just thinking, hey, I ain't waiting. Are we at Mar-a-Lago, or are we playing a public course?
Yes, that's what I was saying. I'm like, where are we going?
I need to know if we talk about it at the Masters, or are we talking about the local Y somewhere? You know what I mean? Because it's going to change my opinion on what you got to do.
Okay.
Even when the president is messed up, it's the president. So depending on how you feel about it, you do what you do.
Okay. I hear it. Anybody else?
I'm going to have to come in with a challenge on the opposite side. Being as somebody who is on his direct hit list, that's an endanger to my humanity. So I couldn't do it. Unfortunately, just being a Black mass presenting lesbian, it's just something that I feel like being in space with him is be a target on my back the whole time. Like, I don't feel like I could relax and enjoy and be there and really get my swing on. And I just couldn't do it. And that's the truth that I have to stand in, because this is the the body that I walk through this world, and he's got a hit out for my existence, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't have fun with somebody trying to kill me.
It's that old enemies closer thing.
And I would much rather keep my friends a whole lot closer. I love that you said that, because I don't believe in that thought process. My enemies can kick rocks. Let me know where you stand, but you can kick rocks.
Okay. Anybody else on that? Anybody else golfing with Trump, or just kind of have an opinion of like how Saquon would have ended it, or even just for people that don't golf, right? Because I know if it's a passion, right? Like Mr. International brought up a great. Where are we playing? Right? Like, are we playing, for Vegas people know, like Shadow Creek is like a private, course that not a lot of people get to play on. So where are you playing? And then also, if you're on the team, the Philadelphia Eagles, are you going to the White House? So you can say either one, because, not everybody probably golfs.
I mean,
okay, go ahead.
I say I wouldn't do it. I'm like, listen, before I sell out, I get the hell out. I ain't doing it.
He said, ain't no Snoop Dogs around here.
We
That
get
ain't for
some.
me. You're like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
He just called a stray. Snoop just
My boy
called a
E
stray.
came straight in. What's up with you, E?
What's up, gang?
Young nephew. I love coming with heat.
Listen, now
All
Trump
right,
got some cold golf courses too.
That Mar-a-Lago is supposed to be something special.
I ain't like, nah, bro.
I mean, I think I gotta agree with Gene and the doctor there. Like, it's just it's no point. You everybody knows, if they know you, that you're doing it for show. You're not gonna enjoy yourself. He's doing it for show. It just makes it an awkward and uncomfortable situation to be in. So let's not even put either one of us there. I know where you stand. You know where I stand, and let's stay on those sides. We all good over here.
Would you have played with Biden?
I wouldn't have played with Biden either.
I'm just checking because I'm like, how dirty you got to be before you can't play golf with him?
but if Biden's in office, though, you asked Ms. Harris, is she
Kamala
gonna be out
going?
there with you?
Is Kamala going? Because if Kamala's going, Kamala's going, I'm going.
Hey, Kamala's just gonna drive the cart. That's hey, we can roll.
I'll put her in the cart. We taking turns.
I mean, at the end
There
of the
it
day,
is.
to me, I think all of them are phony. It won't be real. It won't be a real experience. So if you're just going just to say you went for the experience, then one thing. But if you think you're going to really get something out of it that's real and authentic, then you're going for the wrong reasons. Then I wouldn't go for the fact that I know whatever is happening is just for the cameras or publicity. It's not going to be real. It's not going to be sincere to anything I say or whatever either one of them say. It's just going to be like it's just going to be fake, you know. And we all got fake people we done been around in situations or parties or stuff you've been to, and the whole scenario is fake, and the vibe is just uncomfortable. So I would say, me personally, no, just because I really wouldn't get an experience that you would think you would want out of being in the presence of people that high rank.
Yeah, I'll say to that too. Like, I just can't kiki for clout.
Right.
And anybody who's willing to kiki for clout, I think just says that much more about them and their character. So you just told me everything that I need to know about you because of the space, and not Mr. International, right? Because I just met you through this space, but I just folks, right?
What course it was. I ain't say I like the president. I said what course.
Okay,
I'm making a shirt that says I can't kiki for clout.
I just can't kiki for clout, and I think even like you just brought up Snoop. So then anytime somebody puts himself in a situation like that, we start to think, oh, but remember when you said and this and that. And so we're always talking about standing on business. But then when it comes an opportunity for you to be able to expand, Charlemagne said today on the Breakfast Club, he was like, in America, we just prioritize too much celebrity. And that's how, one, we ended up getting a celebrity in the White House, but also when you think about all the jobs in our country and how we pretty much outsource everything, where a lot of other countries prioritize when it comes to trades and other ways of education to be able to get to the bag. When you look at us, we're like, oh, shoot, we're going to have to be using or spending more of our bag in order to get everything else because of what we prioritize. So I'm just somebody who wants to stand on business and said, I'm just not keying for the cloud. I just won't do it. I'll go golfing somewhere else.
I mean, I would have to say, even with that, like, I don't even necessarily know it's opportunity. It's more of like, I'm looking out for me because I don't know how anybody's going to support me or take care of me at the end of the day. So I'm looking out for me. And that is what's in my best interest at this time. Now, it may not be a year down the line, but right now, for the foreseeable future, me building this relationship or doing this is helpful to me and what I need to get for me. It's not about what we can do for the people. And I know we've had that conversation on this very live multiple times before, where we talk about the fact that we're not in it to look out for us as a people or any one group of people. It's like, I'm in it for me. I got to make sure that I take care of me, because at the end of the day, I don't know that anybody else has my back.
And Ebony, I agree with you 100% on that, because what is the world we live in? It's a me world. So even with the Snoop Dogg thing being said, I don't think he did that because he wanted to be cool with him. It was an agenda, and it was a motive to get whatever he wanted to get out the deal. And he knew if he did that, he would get what he wanted out the deal, which is the world we live in today. And to be honest with you, in a lot of cases, if you don't, in some circumstances, think like that, you lose. So if you're okay with losing and being in whatever position, high or low, with not making that decision to say, I'm just looking out for me, not necessarily a personal relationship with this individual, then you're going to mess around and lose all the time. So I think it just depends on your reasoning. And if your reasoning makes sense for your game, then, whatever floats your boat.
MH, before we move on, MH, Blake Star, welcome to the convo, man. You guys got, I guess, a say on would you golf with Trump or would you head to the White House? And MH, I know we talked about this on the show, but we're talking about Saquon Barkley and the Philadelphia Eagles going to the White House before we move on. So if you had anything, side it out, or no, we're going to move on.
I would not golf with Trump.
Blake,
Flat
when the last
words,
time you
there it
played
is.
golf?
Yeah, I'm out too. I know golfing, there's a lot of conversation. That's a long day. I just don't know what we would talk about for that long. So I'm good.
That's a good point. And then shout out to who we have. Who's this B-Boy Impact said cute on the bottom right, high. So I don't know if that's B or if that's that's Blake Star. I don't know. But you're getting some love on the chat.
Malik waving hard. That's him.
So we'll take that. But hey, thanks everybody who's on live on the chat. So moving on, there was a kind of quick news, and maybe we'll even go quick through it as well. But the NFL fired some referees because they were cheating for Kansas City. I mean, what do we think about that? And how did that really slide? Because it's funny, the discourse, everybody's kind of always saying that, like, man, he didn't get that flag, or what was up with that flag? So just kind of anybody have thoughts on that and how that kind of really started, right?
Start this one with Marley. First
of all, I haven't seen these allegations. What happened on this one?
So can you tell them what your team is first before we take your word as quote?
So, Chiefs fan, but I'm from Kansas City. That's my hometown. Worked there, got a Super Bowl ring from there. So, real Chiefs fan. I cheered for Matt Castle. So we'll start off there. I'm not a bandwagoner. I didn't get there when Mahomes got there.
Yahoo Sports reports that 3 officials were fired, and an accountability crackdown reports surfaced Wednesday on August 12th that 3 NFL referees were fired for making calls on the professional field.
You got it there, Marley? And then Bobby, Bobby's a KC fan too, so Marley, it's fitting that you guys are side by side, so y'all can stick side by side on this mess. But come on, man, are y'all both on the if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying? Is that what y'all rolling with?
So were they saying that with Tom Brady? It was happening to him.
That's where I was about to go, Bobby. Thank you. I'm like,
Tom Brady has full rules change. So if you're gonna protect the money, why wouldn't you protect the money? Mahomes is the money. Protect the money. They get money and they get TV deals because the Chiefs are wanted to be watched and people watch them. Why wouldn't you protect the money? It makes sense. Yeah, it's not going. It ain't a fair game. So step up your game and stop them from getting the ships like Philly did. But hey, you got to keep doing it.
And also, the Chiefs were not apparently part of this cheating scandal. That was the refs doing their own thing.
It says the move was described as an
unaccountable footballs. We wasn't on Bounty Gate. We didn't do none of that.
The measure was started because of some controversial calls, particularly involving games for the Kansas City Chiefs, according to Fox Sports.
What's the motivation for you to cheat if you ain't getting no bread?
Right.
Maybe they got bread back.
That's all I want to know. I need to know.
Maybe they got bread lined up.
Somebody might be the scapegoat. The bookie?
Yeah, maybe they.
Well, then they got paid. Then I'm good. Then I understand it. If they was working with a bookie, I understand it. But if you tell me they had no financial gain from it, then I'm saying they might be scapegoat.
I'm sure they had some financial gain.
Something. Okay. All right. The Chiefs. It's the Chiefs.
What position does it say? What position on the field they were?
It does not. It names them
because me and Marley talking about
down judge.
Okay.
Robin De Lorenzo is a third-year line judge, and umpire James Carter, second year.
So that's all quarterback. They're protecting the quarterback.
These are all new dudes. They just started.
That's why
they know what they was doing.
That was an easy fire.
They can't fire under the old guard because the information might come out.
Listen, I don't understand why we think that they're above reproach. People be cheating over there at McDonald's, getting people stuff they not supposed to have. So, let's stop. Like the NFL is an exception to that rule. We need to stop. I mean, everybody knows somebody giving a little something, a little extra on the side. Let me slide. I didn't see that. I didn't see it. It wasn't there. It didn't happen.
An extra fry or something like that is a lot different to change now. Come to game.
Get an extra wing up in my Popeyes box. I ain't mad at the man. I
mean, I always get an extra wing stock,
fans can persuade games. Like the energy in the building can definitely persuade games. I've seen it. So,
and if you've been to Arrowhead Stadium, you can
it's loud.
If you've been to Arrowhead, it's totally different, man.
You don't get the spot right, huh? You're gonna get the spot right in Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You don't want
I've seen the refs with quivering lips at Arrowhead. I ain't no place to mess up.
And we say Marty had that sweat on their upper lip right there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Voice cracking over the microphone. I ain't the place to mess up.
Get the spot right, huh?
I love it. I love it. All right, want to jump and move forward. So kind of affecting the NFL. So we'll start here. Nico, and I can't pronounce his last name, but if you've been following, the young man was a quarterback at Tennessee. He was getting like 2.4 million or whatever. And then he's like, nah, son, I'm gonna need that 4 million if you want me to come back and play another year for you. And then Tennessee's like, nah, player, I'm not gonna be able to do it. That's a little hip-hop reference for all my older heads. But he had told them, like, look, you pay me and or I leave. And they was like, all right, they chucked up the deuces. So brings up a lot of things. So first thing I guess I want to ask is is he wrong, right? Because that's the system now. And then what do you think that's going to do for like college football? Because now a lot of people are going to start doing that. Any thoughts?
You got to know your worth. And if you can get the bag, get it now, because they ain't giving it up later. And we all just seen that over the weekend. So get your bag, push your agenda now. So when time comes and they get the cards back in their hand, you already done played yours. So yeah, I'm not with it because I love the old college football. But in the new college football system, I'm for you getting your bag when it's available. And don't let them short you in no sense of the way, because they've been taken for a long time. It's about time that we get to turn the table a little bit and the athlete gets a little bit of that upfront love that the NCAA has reaped over the years, taking advantage of it. So, yeah, get that bag, man. It's tacky, but get the bag.
But as you said, know your worth.
Listen, this is a situation where your parents was trying to live through you, and your parent never did nothing in their life, and he lost money. He should have just stayed at Tennessee. He played his hand right. When he got into the market, everybody say, "You're not that good." Similar to another subject we're going to talk about later on, but they told him he's not that good. Like, you're not that good. Like, we see the tape. You're not that good. You're not worth $4 million. You're not worth $2 million that we paying you.
Gene, let me get out of this. Like, I can get out of this $2 million payment. This is why I said it was tacky, Gene, because conversations like that need to be held in private. So when you get exposed, it's not a community conversation. So when his dad went public with it, it made it tacky and it stopped being a business thing and it started to be a public mess. So his dad, I agree with you on that, hurt the bag. But what they were trying to do was still the right thing. They just went about it in not the right way. If they could have had that conversation and maybe negotiated that, I think I'm 80, you're giving me this, whatever. Let's meet somewhere in the middle. You could stay in Tennessee. But once I put you on blast on social media and we bouncing and all that, then you out. And now everywhere you go knows.
He was always at 2.6.
It also heard that other coaches around the country they colluded. They was like, "Oh, your quarterback is reaching out to us. His dad is reaching out to us."
Gene, you know the rule, baby. It's easier to find a job when you got a job. You can't go searching when you didn't get put out on your ass. Yeah. Oh, you ain't got a job? Oh, you looking for a job? Yesterday's price is not today's price. We're gonna cut that rate down. And we go now. When we was coming to you, we might have paid up the full ante, but we're not gonna pay that when we know you looking for a place to land. And other quarterbacks are going out and already securing the big bags. They already did. So you coming to me? You got to play somewhere next year. Mm-hmm. Now again, that's what I'm saying. His dad went about it the wrong way as far as it getting out to the public and not being a negotiation with just Tennessee. And sometimes you got to know when to hold your cards close to your vest before you expose somebody. And they could have went somewhere and got a new gig. Like, yeah, man, we had to bounce from Tennessee because they didn't want to give us that Bugatti. But when you set it up front, that made you look pretty tacky to the rest of everybody else, especially when you got kids playing for that. I played for damn, less than $1,500 a month. So when Cass is trying to get a Bugatti, I'm like, yeah, you might have overstepped the runway a little bit.
I think it's a balance though between when you're saying now you're going from being an amateur athlete to now you are literally a professional college student athlete. And so now you're balancing self-advocacy, knowing your worth, knowing you are the bag while still trying to get the bag without overtly putting yourself in a position that's going to get you screwed like this. And so, but also plays a lesson for the future where you're like, okay, how do I really negotiate? How do I have tight-knit conversations with the folks who are supposed to be advocating for me, whether that be my parents, my coaches, my crew, like all of that. But then at the end of the day, I still got to be good. I can't suck. Number one rule, don't suck. Like if you know you are the bag, do not suck. And I only seen clips of him and I don't know football like that. So I can't say whether how good he was or not. But if he really was that guy, then this wouldn't even be a conversation in this way. It would be like, oh, shoot, he's on the market. And then it would have been a bidding war. So now it tells him that much more in the future of how do I still be dope, still get to the bag, but also create a bidding war over my skills and my abilities. Now you out here looking for a job and that sucks. You got to take that $1,500 that Mr. International got.
Man, I was balling off it though.
He learned a valuable lesson really early. He learned a valuable lesson really early. You got to know what you're worth. You got to know what you can negotiate yourself for, and you got to know who to trust with that conversation because everybody can't be trusted. You think they're your family by blood, but that doesn't necessarily mean they have your best interest at heart. So you have to know how to negotiate for yourself or know who you're putting out there to negotiate for you. So he just learned a lesson that I'm sure some of us learned a little too late, but you got to go in there and say, listen, this is what I need. This is what I need to be getting. So, and that's what I expect. And you got to be ready for them to be like, so yeah, we're not going to give you that. And I don't think he understood that part of the lesson. I don't think anybody explained that part to him because maybe he would have done it differently. And that's the problem. And you have to be ready for the consequences of your actions.
And then daddy should call Miss Jackson because she worked it out for her boy the right way.
Another mistake he made is he let the media, always messing up stuff. They put out this thing that Carson Beck got like $8 million, and it wasn't even true. And that's what he's like, if Carson Beck can get that, I should be able to get this. Come to find out, Carson Beck didn't get that. I was like, and that's this whole new market in this new world. There's a lot of false information that's being put out there. And these kids are falling.
Yeah, he did that Soldier Boy. He was like,
these kids are falling for it, not knowing the truth. Like, no, they really not paying like that. Like, that's just rumors. That's just people think that's what they're worth. That's these collectives throwing these numbers out there to mess over these kids, because that's what these collectives are doing. A lot of these kids are getting screwed over. The top of the top, they're doing well. Once you get out of that place, all them kids getting screwed because they got collectives that own their rights to their pro career. Like, which is crazy. Like, they getting screwed worse than not having no money at all. Because now they're super young.
And that is a game changer.
Money, and they got all these people in there taking from them. You basically a 360 deal, and you're a pro athlete.
So let me ask you this, Gene. Why did Marvin Harrison let his son take that deal? Knowing that his dad is in the NFL, yeah. Why would it? And it goes because I'm going back to the parents negotiating your deals out and being involved in a situation with you. You have a professional athlete that's played in the league, Hall of Famer with agents and everything else, and still got his son fleeced, so he can't even have jersey sales and stuff like that for another, I think, 2 more years before he can get out and actually have a deal.
Because Marvin Harrison, the daddy generation wasn't good with money. They wasn't good with these deals compared to what the new generation knows about. So, like, they wasn't prepared for it. So, they going into, especially the collective, it's new. So everybody's new to everybody. So you're not dealing with a Drew Rosenhaus who's been in the game forever, who's going to be real honest with you. You're dealing with these basically ambulance chasers. And if we deal with ambulance chasers, you're going to get screwed. And there's a bunch of ambulance chasers in college. That's why it's all jacked up right now. Because it's wide open. All these ambulance chasers are in. You should have to have paperwork where you can actually be an NIL collective, a part of the NCAA. It's not like that. I can be one. You can be one. We can just hop right into it and be NIL.
Well, that sounds like a plan there, G. EJ, go ahead and make that out.
And you can be NIL.
Make that a collective. We got this.
Yeah, I was like, we can hop in and do this because it's open season. They have no rules. Yeah. But I also think that the whole situation with the Tennessee quarterback was the coaches and them colluding together like, oh, we finna flip this back towards us. Like, the players got all the power. We about to take all this power back. And we're going to let them know.
But I think it's them as a whole, right?
Yeah, we talk.
Because they have to kind of do that. So this is the thing. So we're getting close, folks. We're getting close. Everything that we're saying in this conversation is lead. I got one more before I open the lines then. So the last thing that I saw around this NIL thing, and I think, Gene and, others are really kind of precluding to this, is that Grambling's football head coach was like, yo, it's cool. These younger schools or these little schools, right? You have like even Cam, he went Incarnate Word, then he went to Washington, then he went to the U, thought them U's, Bob, you there with me. And then all of these other schools that are like developing these kids, right? Like they go to UNLV, put stuff on tape, and then they head out to these bigger schools. So the coach from Grambling says, yo, they need to pay me for developing that person, housing that person, paying my NIL money to them, because you're going to come, big bank take little bank, there needs to be something like, like if you want to come take this player, cool, I get it. It's his future for him to do something, but you're going to need to break me off, right? So I think some of those things, collective bargaining, all of these rules are going to need to be set pretty soon if we want to kind of see what the fate of football. What is your thought on the Grambling coach of just kind of seeing some other rules around NIL?
Was that the same coach that said it's like glorified JUCOs? I believe that, and I get it. And I was a JUCO coach, a good JUCO player, and I think it makes sense, unfortunately. But you have to go back to, I think, a piece of like, what is college for? What is the point of being a collegiate student athlete? I think in this story you're seeing like, oh, I got 2 points. Like when did, and again, Mr. International, I love that you brought up that you made 1,500. When did 2 point something million not become enough to be a collegiate student athlete?
No, that's facts.
Is subjective. So if you're saying, right, like this is the first, like these are first generation millionaires by 18, and I'm pro money, get your money, get in your bag. I'm pro all of that. But like, when did greed become, like, greed has always been a part of the conversation. So how do we, I think that's something that needs to be addressed that's on a psychological level. And obviously that's the realm that I come from. But I think that's something that we have to think about too, is like, who is driving this convo? Like what education is the parents getting as well? And then as college coaches, do your job, and not do your job as in coach the game. Do your job in being able to pour into these student athletes while you have them, add value, be a mentor, be a coach for life. And then if they decide to leave, do you stay in their village? I think that depends on what kind of relationship you had while they were there. And then you just kind of go from there. That's my 2 cents.
I mean, for years, if, head coach at Grambling gets offered to be head coach at Alabama or DC, he has some decisions to make too. And I mean, I was a product of coaches doing something else, right? Losing their job or going to get another job. So the guy that I did build a relationship with, or I got recruited with, I was just out there. They left me out there with the cows in Greeley, right? And so, I mean, in my opinion, it's, it's the same. It's just business. Josh Heupel has been to a lot of different places. So
listen, I would counter that. Like, I hate the comparing the coaches thing, because I think it's stupid. It's not even a real comparison. We talking about a coach that probably worked for free the first 3 years of his career, who has worked his way up to the position to do that. Not somebody who just popping in from high school. We talking somebody who has a long career, built this up to get to head. Most coaches don't become head coaches to even do that. I would get there. So to me,
I would agree, but let's not just say the athlete doesn't work either, right? Like, he put in some work to even be considered, right? They don't consider everybody to be the quarterback at Tennessee.
To me, it does, because listen, the athlete, they have their career, they have their college career. A coach get fired. A lot of them not getting no. If they, especially if they do bad, they're not getting another head coaching job again. More getting fired than getting a chance to move around.
I agree, but do we not have the NCAA commercial that says 98% of everybody's going pro or something other than like it's just business. It's the same.
Yeah, but I'm not comparing a student that's in college to somebody who has been is like a 15-year career.
I hear you, and
that's not, to me. That's not. I hate when they do that to coaches. Like, the coach get to jump around. I agree, when a coach jumps around, players should be allowed to go wherever they want to go when the coaches leave.
Correct.
To me, that's
but
the
let's
fair
remember
play.
though, like let's set the precedent here though, because when you talk about coach, I like whoever said, yeah. Well, when you talk about coaches, they are under contract. So let's start there. And a lot of them get their contract either bought out or they get paid out. Hell, the Raiders got like six coaches that are on. So it costs for them to move, whether you're Ohio State or whatever. So I think we need to bring it back and focus more.
Exactly what you're saying, EJ. I feel exactly what you're saying because I don't feel sorry for the Grambling coach. Because EJ, you know that when I went to Savannah State, Doug Williams was the coach. When I came on campus, he bounced the first day that we were supposed to be on campus and left to I think he took we went to Washington or it was the Redskins or something like that. But I went down there, was recruited by him went all the way from Ohio to Savannah, Georgia, 19 hours to me to walk on there the first day on campus for them to tell us coach bounce. So I don't really feel sorry for him because they're bounce. And just like that Grambling coach is talking, he just ain't got the opportunity. If the opportunity would have presented himself, he would bounce because you got to go for what you know. So I don't feel sorry for the coach. Yeah, he's whining because of the situation he's put in, and he's trying to say he should be compensated. When technically, what about those kids that came there and then now it's a new coaching staff and either the coach like you don't, then what happened, EJ? I end up having to transfer to another school because it's a whole nother coaching staff that don't know nothing about me and don't care nothing about me. And I'm all the way from
You're
Ohio.
not their guy. You're not their guy.
I'm not their guy. So I don't feel sorry for any coach if they lose a player because it's been going on for years. So
yeah, but
I mean the Grambling guy just got to get over it. That's part of the game.
I mean, you talking about the past. This is a whole new era now. The Grambling coach, he coached in FBS. The past is old.
It's not like he's coaching for free though. He's getting paid to do his job. He's making money.
Yeah, but without the they was doing the same job before.
Wait. Let's not talk over each other. Hold on. Okay, G, finish up in
college football era. I definitely think it should be like soccer. Like if somebody develops the player at one of these smaller schools, you should pay what you pay. Like it should be a double pay. That's what they do in soccer. If I develop and I'm in a smaller league and you take my player, you got to pay me for that. Like that's how it should be in the new era of college football.
Yeah, but it's still new though.
I get it. The new era of college football definitely should be that way.
But where does that money go?
Because what's going to happen is a lot of these small schools are not going to make this new college football. The money is not there at all.
Gene, you kind of stole my point. So I'm going to go with you and agree with you about 99% of the way. Because I was going to say that I just realized that recently with my daughter in soccer that even in youth soccer, you sign a contract for the season. And you can't just leave when you want to and go to another team. So I just learned that. Yeah. The one thing I would say about the coach from Grambling is he's marketing it the wrong way. Right. And he should be getting more athletes in by saying, I'm putting kids into bigger D1 programs and understand the environment that he's in now. Because there's cats going from New Mexico State to Vanderbilt. So what's going to stop a kid that's at Grambling that can get to New Mexico State in hope of making it? He can't stop that. So his marketing should be like, hey, come here 1 or 2 years. I'm going to develop you, and then I'm going to help you get on with a good D1. And I got a pipeline from you coming from the neighborhood of Mississippi to here in Grambling to a big-time program to get you a bag. But if you don't go here, you got to go to JUCO. So you're going to make the steps anyway. You're going to have to go down that path to get there, but I'm here to help facilitate that for you. And also, as your coach that cares about you, make sure you get the right deal and at the right spot that you go to versus, hey, man, you owe me money if you take my player. Because you don't own me. But that's what slavery is. He has said that. To take my player.
Him and the PV coach at Prairie View, they both have said that. Like that's their pitch. But in general, the GOAT will agree with him. The GOAT, Nick Saban himself, said that's how it should be. Like
that's what I say. I agree with you what you're saying, Gene. That's why I say I agree with 99%. I'm just saying instead of crying about the current situation, market it to your advantage. And if they are doing that, that's the right thing to do. But don't then on the back end cry about, hey, you owe me a bag if you take my player.
But you got to understand where they're coming from. If
I understand it, and
college football goes to the route of these kids are employees, those programs are done. They don't have the money. So you
Gene, if I care about my players, and I know that their goal, even when they come to a HBCU, is to make it to the NFL, and I know coming here with me for 2 years gets you to a good D1 to make that dream more of a reality than being here with me and dominating for 4 years, and then being a 7th round pick. If I really care about you, I owe it to you to help you get in the best situation. And now if I get something out of it, that's cool. That's great. But at the end of the day, if I'm coaching for the real true reason of coaching, which is to develop you and help you get to the biggest level, I can't also say to get there, you got to pay me at the interim level because I developed you.
That's cool and all. But if the program don't have no money to run past that, it doesn't matter. So the question is, if the quarterback from Grambling leaves and goes to New Mexico State, is that going to just kill the revenue for Grambling? Grambling is already in a financial disaster with that quarterback on the roster. This is not like he couldn't get the player. I'm looking at the future. You're looking at right now. The future.
I'm looking at the future. The future of football. The future of college football is there's going to be a top tier. There's going to be a top tier, and then there's going to be a developmental tier, and it's going to wipe out and make low-level colleges with JUCO.
You gotta have the money. If they make them state employees, it's not going to be a Grambling football team.
Hey,
not enough money out there.
This ain't the first time that conversation.
You gotta have the money.
Will Grambling continue to have a team now?
Here's the deal.
If it becomes law, and they make all these people state employees, Grambling them will not be able to afford state employee players.
Not true.
Hey, wait. First, I'm gonna just say this.
Wait, kind of true because Trump is firing state employees. So,
well, yeah, to that extent. But I'm talking about they got a lot of rich alumni. Grambling got a lot of alumni that wouldn't let that program fall all the way.
Man, Grambling almost fell like 5 years ago.
I was about to say that, Gene. 5 years ago, the players boycotted and wouldn't play.
Right.
They 5 years ago.
And it took people from the outside that didn't even go to Grambling. It took rich, wealthy black people to come in and say, hey, let's save this program because it's Grambling, this HBCU. That wasn't from just Grambling alumni.
Like, for 6 hours to game.
Like, you got to think about, and they killed all the grant money too, bro. We in a whole different situation now where, like, you're gonna need
Blake,
money.
what you got for us, Blake?
No, I'm just saying. I mean, I'm in total agreement with, like, you know what I'm saying, as far as, you know, the kids getting money. And it is a new age, man. It's not, this is unprecedented times, but you do have to look at other models. And like Gene was saying about the soccer thing, there's a fee that got to be paid, you know what I'm saying, to, you know, that team that person's going from. So, you know, you can implement a few different things. I think, you know, one good way would be, because, and I don't know who to pay. Like, you know, so like he was just saying, like, well, who gets the money? Like, I don't know. It could be a split because the coach is, you know what I'm saying, maybe one of the guys that's developing this player. And, you know, maybe he gets a cut of that. The school possibly should get a cut of that to spread around or wherever the case may be. Because you think about, like, say, all right, we got a quarterback and we didn't recruit a quarterback as we should have, the type of level quarterback. So now, or I'm just saying, if the quarterback is the person in question who tries to boat off, now we got an issue, but we don't have a quarterback for this year, whatever year down the line. Like Quinn Ewers left Ohio State. Ohio State didn't really recruit a quarterback for that time period. They're like, okay, he'll be here at least the next 3 years during this time, so we don't recruit a quarterback. So after you decide to do that, and I take it all the way back to the streets in olden times, but women had to pay a choosing fee. So you had to pay the pimp to leave. So you give a portion. I mean, yeah, you get in the bag, but I'm not talking about nothing crazy.
He chose me, baby.
Like, yeah, like, right.
Wait.
That what the Max said? He chose me.
So
to the culture.
I'm just saying, she would have to pay. They would have to pay. You know what I'm saying? You know, whatever the fee would be, you know, whatever your new bag was. It's only for a year. It's just to leave. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that's just one way to because like I said, we don't know. I mean, this is new stuff. They're gonna be changing these rules. So everybody's gonna be flipping around willy-nilly though.
It's an FCS.
I got with that Malik is when you start playing that game is every team you go to or every coach you're around didn't develop you. And everybody that played football knows. And now how are you going to start giving people credit that didn't do what you did when you did the work yourself to put yourself on this high level to be able to leave? And those coaches there didn't do it. You just had the desire and the want to be great, and you did what you had to do. So now you're playing the game and saying, because they said they developed me, that means they developed me. That don't mean they developed you. Because there's plenty of coaches.
I'm not saying you wouldn't be at Grambling if they didn't develop you.
Okay,
like you wouldn't be at Grambling from the jump.
That ain't true.
You didn't get developed.
But that ain't true.
That is true.
You went to Grambling because you wanted to go to Grambling.
One of the best FCS schools just lost their quarterback right now in spring to an FBS school.
And that has nothing to do with the work you put in as the athlete. The athlete puts in the work. The athlete goes and does and learns to play.
It's real simple. If somehow you ended up at Grambling quarterback, that means your high school
that ain't true.
James, can I get if you don't pan out, can I get a refund? So if I bring you on and I pay you a fee and then you don't pan out and don't make the starting squad, can I get a refund?
Right.
No, real quick. If you pay the transfers, I think they need to.
I mean, you developed them. If you didn't do a good job, can I get my money back?
No, they're gonna have to figure out some type of rules and regulations because when it comes down to another school paying a transfer fee for an individual player, in the sense of the team, like those coaches not developing you, there are players I'm sure who obviously go above and beyond, and they have trainers that are outside of that coaching staff. So then, does that individual trainer get paid?
Right.
And then it's also going to come down to, in my opinion, I think if coaches start getting kickbacks for developing players, then where does that lead in the sense of them focusing and putting all of their attention onto one specific player versus the other 60?
So no, this is the.
What about players that develop players? You go on football teams, and there may be a senior or upper class, or even maybe a guy that don't get a lot of tick, but he know the game that teaches you so much that you didn't know that the coach didn't teach you. So we're gonna start paying them.
You're reaching to another atmosphere of this.
Well, that's what it all comes to.
But no, it's not. It's not like that. We're looking at it like this. If I have a quarterback, I'm at Grambling. I developed this quarterback who was a 0-star. Nobody was looking at him. Because you're not developing on your own. Because the coach is calling the plays. They doing all the training. Right. They're making you better. If some school, New Mexico State, say, hey, I'm going to give you $100K, that means I'm going to give $100K to the player to come. I'm going to give maybe $50K to your athletic program.
Can I ask you one question, Gene?
That's how the
I just want to ask you one question. When Kirby Smart and Kiffin went on Saban's coaching staff and he developed them and they end up getting these big contracts to go to SEC teams to coach, should Saban get kickbacks for developing them to be better coaches? Because this is the game you trying to play now, saying development. Because this is all Saban did.
This is not new.
Where he developed coaches and he developed them to get better jobs.
Already implemented in soccer.
Right.
Like, this is not new. Coaches don't get kicked. You're a coach.
No, it doesn't matter. He still developed them to get
making
those
up
jobs.
stuff.
It don't even come down to.
Coaches don't get kickbacks. So I'm just gonna back to the original point. Then the Grambling coach doesn't deserve to be paid extra for developing players. He's doing his job.
I'm not saying he deserves to be paid.
We're not saying the coach should get the money. Come on, listen, it's going over y'all head. We saying it should get kicked back to the school to help that.
So Alabama should get kicked back for Georgia and Mississippi from Saban developing them coaches.
When they kick the money back, it goes to the coach. It goes to develop the next.
What's the difference? It doesn't make no sense.
Oh gosh, I would.
Why does Alabama get kicked back? All these coaches Alabama developed. Why don't they get kicked back? All these coaches for the big.
Hey, people, hey, bring it down.
Thank you. Those coaches could not do anything higher than be the offensive coordinator. You at Alabama, you couldn't have been the coach at Alabama because there was already a coach. You can go be a coach somewhere else, and that's no kickback. But we need kickback from you coming. Now it's the minor leagues. Now,
hey, look, your kickback is that you was on my staff and it got you a head coaching job. That's the kickback.
That part.
And that don't make
sense. Stop. So just want to say the original question was just about the program getting money for developing players. That was the question. We went off in the outer space, went around Pluto, which I don't even know.
No, I kept it on topic.
Gene did
so
that.
wait, stop. Hey, okay, Coach. Give me one.
With the university,
I just want to say one last thing on this topic. This is exactly why I think it is toxic to call our programs family. Like when we go family on 1, family on 3, whatever it is, and label it, because sports at the end of the day is contractual, which makes it a transaction, and family is unconditional. And when even just this conversation shows like it's a toxic thing. So when I try to recruit you into my family and we're all those, it just builds up a it becomes like one part of a self-limiting belief, but then also limits the ability for folks to be able to really leave and go back to the top of what Ebony said at the beginning. Everybody's going to do what's best for them. And everybody's going to do what's best for them and their family. And now the fact that we have entered money into this conversation from an NIL level, and I'm making $2-point-something million decisions, I'm not thinking about family. I'm thinking about my immediate, intimate family, because they're also what is it called? They're also influencing my decision as well. And what's a coach going to do? Whatever they got to do for their family. And so I think it's just really it's toxic and really borderline abusive to try to massage people into playing for your family and being a part of this family. Because the second that you have an opportunity to make a better decision for your intimate family, it's deuces all day. So I'm on the side of saying stop saying sports is family, unless we really rock together regardless. And as a coach, I'm truly developing you for who you are, because that's why I got into the sport.
You're going to take the money out of it then.
Hey, my last nugget is, what if I play for Grambling, but I go out and I find my own NIL deal or my own school to go to? The university still deserve a kickback if I set it all up myself?
Kickback every time. It's like soccer.
Okay.
Kickback every time.
Yeah.
Because you have an agent, your agent going to do that anyway. Your agent the NIL agent is already doing it. So it's a kickback every time. It's like, hey, what's your cost?
That only works for going up.
I'm going to have to do a kickback to the school.
That only works for going up.
What if West Virginia to USC?
Or no, what if you go from USC to New Mexico State? Due respect. Does it work the other way too?
To me, it's always
New Mexico State.
No, to me, it's Power 4. Then it's the league after the group after Power 4, and then you have the FCS. To me, all of it works like a system. It works like soccer. It's different leagues. You move on.
If you want to go down, go down. You can go down for free.
You go down for free.
You go down for free.
You go down for free. All right. I'm just trying to get the rules. You go down for free.
MH. Hey, everybody don't got a value on them, man. So
yeah.
I was the number 2 at Texas, and I'm gonna go to New Mexico State to get it back and start for the next year. But they didn't develop me at Texas. They didn't develop me at all.
They didn't develop me at all.
It's going from Power 4 to mid-major.
Nah, okay. We throwing the development part in there.
Like I say, it's like soccer. Take the soccer model, implement it in college football. That's all we doing.
So if you're at the top level, you develop a player, you don't get the bag. All right. I just want to make sure. Go down, you don't get paid.
No. So I think like it makes sense. It makes sense. Here's the rules, right? So in our Black in Sports world of the collective, right? If you go up, you owe back. If you go down, nothing's owed, and if you go equal, nothing's owed, right? Like, I mean, if you level, you know, that's the way it should be. And I don't know 100% if that's in soccer, but like Emma said, to play the game, sometimes you just got to know the rules. All right.
I done got jacked enough times in FIFA to know. I get my kickbacks.
MH, yeah. It looks like we need to do a show on this. I didn't know.
Yeah, we just need to get the rules. Let's just print the rules out. Yeah, we just need to print the rules. That's all.
I see E down there working on it right now.
Hey, listen, I did not know that this was going to be like us playing Uno together, that there was going to be so much fucking issues.
Exactly. We got to know the rules. Everybody play a little different. We just got to know what rules we playing.
We playing the No Mercy version over here.
Gene is trying to stack right now. Gene is stacking.
Yeah.
That's what Gene trying to stack.
No Mercy. He hit the draw 10 on y'all.
Draw 10.
Draw 10. Oh, man.
I think this is a good assessment as any. I appreciate you all. It's been fun. I'm glad you made it in, because if you made it in, there's people knocking at the door to get into this conversation. Some of us jumped in the live. The live is on fire. I thank the live for the comments, the shout outs. Ebony, you're getting a lot of love in the live. I appreciate you bringing your fan club to the chat as well. This is a beautiful thing. So, all right, without further ado, the 2025 NFL Draft just occurred. And MH and I did a episode, right? And we called it the boring draft. Just from a standpoint of like to catch people's eye, right? Like we really didn't know many names in the draft, right? So after 4 or 5, it's really started getting into, Suncrest State or West School of cosmetology, have players that was getting on the board.
Careful. We just talked about this, EJ. Be careful.
Hey, right?
Hey, high school coaches might need kickbacks.
Be careful. No, keep going.
So, we kind of talked to the draft, and the draft became a lot more exciting, in one way or another than all thought. So, like, without further ado, it was a little bit of a travesty for most people. Think that that Shedeur Sanders got hosed, and he got picked 144 overall, got passed up a lot. And, there's a lot of thoughts about that. So I'm just going to open it up to however anybody wants to start, because there's a lot impacted around this. And as we go through the conversation, I'll attempt to highlight some other things. But I just want to get the family's thought, and MH, we should have just did a live show. But then again, what day would we have done it, right? Because we'd have probably started on the 1st and then had to come to day 3. But anybody want to jump off of how they felt, what they think, and I think, was he done wrong? I think it'll be the overall question, but start with anyone.
I don't take Jackson Dart over.
You what?
I don't take Jackson Dart over Shedeur. I don't take Milroe over Shedeur. Cam Ward, I could go either way. Tyler Show, I don't take him over Shedeur. I think he got, hosed. It was kind of crazy that he dropped so far. I was really hoping that the Raiders were going to figure it out and pick him up because, Aiden O'Connell and Geno is not the future, but I don't think he should have fell that far.
And why do you think he shouldn't have fell that far? Was there something that saw? Because every year we do what the Colorado schedule is going to be.
He had some issues in the pocket. Sure, he definitely took some sacks he shouldn't have taken. But watching all the games that I definitely watched, probably 8 or 9 of Colorado's games this season, I just don't think, based off of talent and play time of the last season, that some of these quarterbacks should have been drafted over him.
I agree. I think hardly any of them. Just from what we saw, that's a big program. He moved up from HBCU to a top program. So if you go out there and you put up the numbers that he put up, the accuracy rate that he put up, every other quarterback in the past who put up those top numbers in a program like that, they didn't get that type of treatment. I definitely think it was something they were trying to prove. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a Deion thing or I don't know what it is. I don't know if he interviewed right, but how bad could you have interviewed if you slipped from, that to that? I think it was the NFL trying to send a message that I don't know what the message was. I promise I don't understand it, but I know that whoever can anybody tell me what the quarterback from Louisville did for him to get drafted?
Let me just say this, man.
I don't know.
Hey, this is black and sports. Speak from your heart, man. We know what happened, right? Everybody knows what happened. So let's not. This ain't ESPN or Disney.
I don't know the
product,
reason though.
Let's not beat around the bush. They told him, like they told all of us, and if you ain't realized what they said is, we still in control. We got the money that you want, and you and your daddy was talking all of this and all of that. But at the end of the day, you need us more than we need you. And we don't care how well you played at Colorado or winning at HBCU. We care nothing about none of that. It's about the money. And also, I'm going to say this. My mama told me at a young age when I first moved out, don't invite nobody in your house that you're going to have problems kicking out. And Deion is a problem putting out of your house. So
boom.
They could have did it a different way. It could have been handled as going back to that same conversation with Tennessee. It's all about how you say what you say, when you say it, and how many people know the message. So when Deion came out and said, I'm the new Archie Manning, and I'm telling you where my son is going, and y'all going to pay him like he's a first-round pick, and he's going to start next year and all of that, there was some people whose feathers got ruffled. right? Because one thing, you also turned down a job for the Cowboys, a huge job in the NFL, and you told us that you don't need this league and that your son's going to come here and we're going to pay you like we owe you something, and we don't owe nobody nothing because we are the NFL. So at the end of the day, they played their hand wrong. He's black. He thought he was white, and he ain't. That's the end of it. That's it. And if you didn't get the message, then you didn't watch the draft. That's all to it. I'm a Raiders fan, so every time the Raiders was on the clock and didn't pick him, I was going, what the hell are we thinking? What are we thinking? We know we need it. And I ain't going to say we can't win with Geno, but we got 1 or 2 years with Geno, and we need the future. So what is the future?
It's not the future.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm not hiring somebody at a job that I can't terminate because they got something on me or because they could make a move, or your dad is on TV talking about, hey, man, my son's not winning because of this coach and what he's doing, and now I got to deal with my fan base and that extra scrutiny. So it's a lot of pressure picking that kid, and they went about it the wrong way, knowing all the pressure that was going to come with it. So there was a little bit of a problem with the way that they did it, and at the end of the day, the league did what we're also saying the NCAA is going to do. It's got to check us, right? It's got to be checks and balances. And so at the end of the day, next year, if a black kid comes out with the same opportunity, the parent is going to do what they got to do to not mess it up. That's it. That's it, and that's all. So let's just keep the conversation real. Like, Deion overplayed his hand just a little bit too much, and it cost his son greatly, right? Shedeur is going to be a good NFL quarterback. I think Cleveland picked him with the anticipation that he's going to be their future, but they did it their way, and they're going to get him for the cheap. They're going to be able to build around him for the next 3 years. So ultimately, he might end up in a better situation. But the way they had to go about it was also to say, like, listen, you're coming to us. You work for us. We don't work for you and your daddy. And so now when you come in at the 5th, if I cut you, hey, nobody trips on a 5th round pick getting cut, right? Why are we making such a big deal? Oh, go tell your daddy, hey, man, nobody else in the NFL thought you were better than a 5th round pick, and we took a flyer on you. And like the worst part about it was what the GM said. We don't consider this a blockbuster move, that we just got a potential 1st round quarterback in the 5th round. We're checking you one more time in the public. We're letting you know we don't care about you being a superstar. It is what it is. You are Shedeur Sanders? No, you're his son. You're the spawn of. So you're not going to come in and lock it down like he locked it down. We got to groom you and get you right. You're not already ready to go. So his dad overplayed his hand. He was not the best quarterback in the draft, and you talk like he was from day one. And then they told you, like, we don't need you. And I'm going to say this just like we talk about Bronny being on the Lakers. It's a lot of players in the NFL that we won't ever know their names. Point blank, period. Shedeur Sanders benefited from the bad press of being the only thing we talked about for 3 days in the draft. And all he got to do now is go out and play, and he's going to get the same bag. He just got to wait now, and they're going to make him play his day game. And he got to play.
I will say, him and Shiloh really handled it well. Like, you know,
let's talk about Shiloh. Let's not bring up Shiloh.
I'm just saying, like,
they
handled the whole situation well. I mean, they live streamed the entire. They live streamed it all. They were on camera the whole time. You know, Shadour's not like visibly upset. I mean, he's obviously disappointed, but like, he's not throwing attention. Or, you know, he's not why. Like, he really handled it with a smile, and he really took it with humility, I'll say, and grace.
Hey, I will say this, though, one other part. The most disappointing part about it all was that the NFL and everybody else knew what was going on, and nobody had enough balls to come out and say, this is what we're doing. That we're not fucking with you, and it is what it is, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. They put it off on his character, his interviews, and everything else under the sun, and didn't just say, like, look, we took Johnny Manziel, even though he was doing all of this shit in the background, but we ain't messing with you because your character is a bad excuse.
Can I interject just a little bit? I'll let you go. I just want to say just one thing. I honestly, I mean, Johnny Manziel won a Heisman, so that's off top. But I don't know who his representation was. So the thing to me is, like, the information was just way off. One side is saying, hey, he's a 1st round pick. Mel Kiper was probably mad because he probably got some information out of his 1st round pick. And then he ends up in the 5th round. And Mr. International, it could have all been what you said, and probably was, maybe it was. But the most disappointing part of it was, like, he just didn't have representation. And as Coach Prime's son, I always felt I don't know why he didn't have an agent that can be just in the room to just say, like, hey, bruh, they see you as a backup quarterback. Maybe we need to participate at Combine. Maybe you should be in the Shrine Bowl. You know what I mean? I don't know where that part of the information was missed, And to me, that's the most disappointing thing about the whole thing, is that there was just some misinformation. And Coach Prime, being Coach Prime, I mean, he should kind of know what an agent does for you. That's all.
All right, y'all ready? Y'all ready for like the real information, not all this fake love affair and all that other BS? So let's start with this. The NFL draft, this draft particularly, it was only like 5 teams that really needed quarterbacks, right? It was only like 5. The rest of them really wasn't into quarterbacks. They had their man, they had their person. They not going to draft a quarterback who's probably considered a fringe starter backup with the media with the Tim Tebow media that is going to bring around him, right? Like, so nobody was going to actually like look at him and bring him in and take him serious. One, if you heard Shedeur himself, he said, you know what? I would have played it different if I could do it all over again. So obviously he made some mistakes along the way in his interview process of how he was going about it. Because if it's only 5 teams that need quarterbacks, you're going to be on your P's and Q's. You're going to like handle your business about this whole process. And then from what everybody is saying is like, even Bomani Jones even got more information today. He was talking about it. He was saying that Shedeur didn't take a lot of these interviews serious. Like he was in there with his beats on, FaceTiming people the whole time, like streaming, recording it, had his recorders and everybody recording everything at the same time. So yeah, NFL coaches never seen that. Usually the only person that's recording is the NFL. As you've seen, like we've seen that last year through Jaden Daniels' process. Like they every time they went to the Giants room, they was recording, like he was on the board doing all these different things. NFL teams are $1 billion franchises, right? So that's a $1 billion franchise. They're not going to mess up anything. For one thing, this quarterback class, I told people from the beginning, there's a bunch of people that are saying first round picks that really are like 2 through 5. They're just masking as it because every year we have to pump up quarterbacks. Every year we need to put a quarterback in the first round. But I was like, if you really looked at football, really looked at Shedeur's film, all his stuff was just slant routes and mesh routes. There was a lot of slants and mesh. And when he played defenses that went to a pro-style defense, those were his worst games. So the NFL, the real scouts, the team scouts was looking at him was like, they've always said he was a second and beyond pick. Now, I think what had him drop was those bad interviews.
Can I ask a real question real quick, Gene? Where does Mel Kiper get his info from?
Mel Kiper's been like, for 30 years. Like,
no. Hold on. But where are all the draft experts that talk about the draft? Where do they get their info from?
I will tell you this though. When it comes to like the media and the reason Shedeur was put up like that, it's because they're all friends with Deion. All the people that was pumping up Shedeur are like this with Deion. Mel Kiper, like this with Deion. Stephen A. Smith, like this with Deion. What's the guy that wants to be a GM, but they never hire him on ESPN?
What's the black dude?
Louis Riddick.
Louis Riddick. Yeah.
Louis Riddick. Friends with Deion because Deion always pumped him up as he should be a GM. He always tweeted about it. Everybody that pumped up Shedeur had an in with Deion. They were all in with Deion. But the scouts were saying a totally different thing. The scouts is like, no, he's a 2 through 5. That's why you kept getting all these different misinformations about Shedeur. If you looked at Shedeur's tape, like you knew, like, when the ball goes past 40 yards, it floats. It's not really a strong ball. Anything between 40 yards, he's the most accurate quarterback in the draft.
I disagree with that. I disagree with it. And I'm not saying Mel Kiper is the. Yeah, let me say that because I saw the comment. I'm not saying Mel Kiper knows anything. What I am saying is that he just doesn't make up his own information, right? Like he gets his information from a lot of different sources.
He told us Johnny Manziel was the best quarterback in the draft. Like,
and Johnny Manziel, to your point, but to your point, Johnny Manziel was picked in the first round. He's not just making information up. They get it from somewhere, right?
And I'll give you that. And I'm going to tell you what I know about these people. I know that Mel Kiper for years have been using his stuff because he knows agents and agents been feeding him. He's been players that's not good.
Okay. So let's that's the point I'm saying. That's the whole point of this is what I'm saying is there was no agent there. There was no representation for Shedeur. You saw that Shiloh was like, "Hey, yo, my dad was our agent. I don't know if that worked out right. I'm going to sign with an agent right now."
You got to remember, Dion and Mel.
Please not bring up Shiloh again.
They're close with each other.
What I'm saying is representation. I get what you're saying. And it wasn't just them. It's not just Mel Kiper. There's a lot of people that talked about the draft.
It was all the talking heads, but nobody that really had any scouting background. It was just the talking heads.
So Gene, just a question.
I don't know about that.
Me, Gene,
was he the 7th best quarterback in the draft or 6th?
No, I'm gonna get to that part. I haven't made
it. He was drafted in the first round.
Let's get to that part.
Okay. But he was definitely the number 2 quarterback as far as skill level.
Maybe,
but the problem is, Gene, you're arguing something that don't even make sense. So you telling me when the Patriots picked Mack from Alabama that year that he was a better quarterback than Shedeur as far as skill?
Yes.
That don't make sense. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't.
Yes.
So that tells me, Gene, when
he was coming, you know why? Because he was in a pro style offense.
Okay, but Gene, you want to talk a lot, but you don't want to listen. So I'm trying to tell you something, man.
I'm telling you because I know more. I can make a call and like, hey, what happened? That's what I'm telling you.
Talking ain't gonna do nothing. I'm trying to tell you something. We've been listening to you for a long time, brother. But I'm trying to tell you something about football because I've been in football my whole life. The thing about Shedeur is, yes, he has some things he needs to be worked on. But skill-wise, if you look at some of the comparisons of some of the first-round draft picks and quarterbacks that went, skill-wise, he has some talent skill-wise as far as accuracy and reading defense and getting the ball in precise spots. I know you said he threw a lot of flats, but he threw a lot of deep balls, too, that were very, 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 very accurate that a lot of quarterbacks cannot throw. So keep in mind, when it comes down to his skill level, the man did have skill. Does he have stuff he needs to be coached on? Absolutely.
He has stuff he
this
can't
has
get
nothing
better
to do
at.
with his skill level.
That's the issue.
The
you can't get
issue
him.
is not his skill. You're talking as if he's not talented enough to be in the draft or be higher up. If you base some of the quarterbacks that were drafted earlier in previous years that were maybe white guys or something like that, he is killing them. I'm
looking at this draft class right here.
Gene, I'll agree with you to this point that maybe if you say, hey, he's a backup quarterback, right? The other guys, Dylan Gabriel, maybe he's easily able to slide. Hold on. I'm not talking about skill. I'm just talking about. Wait. Hold on. I'm just saying he doesn't have. We didn't see Dylan Gabriel grow up in the spotlight, right? So we don't have that outside media pressure that says, hey, your number 2 guy should probably be your number 1 just because it's outside noise. So maybe it's easier for a Dylan Gabriel to be a number 2 than it is a Shedeur Sanders. But I would disagree. I mean, they all got something to work on, right?
Listen, I'm with you where he drafted based on this class. To me, him and Jackson Dart, they just have different skill sets. They're 2 and 3. If you told me Shedeur is 2, I'm fine with it. If you told me Jackson Dart is 2, I'm fine with it. Everybody else in this class is right,
but you can see, but Jackson Dart could play backup role for 2 years, right? And nobody's gonna say nothing.
I think Jackson Dart is gonna sit on the bench and learn because he's a gunslinger. Like, all right, you can't teach his athleticism, you can't do those things. You got to think about it. Cam Ward, who was the number 1 pick in this draft, wouldn't be a top 5 quarterback in last year's draft.
He
wouldn't be a top 5 quarterback. He would not be a top 5 quarterback in last year's draft. So that's how bad this class is.
No,
let's stick on this. Let's stick on this.
How bad the class is. Did you watch what Cam Ward did?
Yeah,
against
he took a team that was a little bit below average to make like a championship
Miami
team.
played.
You didn't watch Cam Ward play.
I watched Cam Ward since he was in high school. I know his mama.
He
what are you talking
about? Okay, wait a minute.
Let's go. Hold on. Don't do that.
I'm just saying.
Don't do that.
You know his mama.
Right outside of you.
His parents.
Watching this kid play.
Fix it.
These quarterbacks in this class just not good. This is that Trey Lance class. That's what this is.
All right, give it. Hey,
that could be
all right, Ebony's up there. Wait, let's hear what Ebony's got.
Thank you. So listen, I agree with both Miss International and Gene to it. Both of you have valid cases. And I think, again, all of us being professionals in other worlds and other elements understand that this was more so about putting somebody in their place than it was about the skill set of Shedeur. We can talk about the quality of the draft class and him as a quarterback and blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, that wasn't what the decision was about. Because they made sure to pick him in the 5th round as 144 and not put him all the way at the back and make him Mr. Irrelevant so that he could go on to prove more. They made a point of it. And anybody that is in any professional industry knows that if you tick off the wrong people or push the wrong buttons or anything like that, it can severely damage the way that you are able to move in your industry of choice. And that is just what happened. Now, is Shedeur able to rebound from that? Definitely. If he goes out and plays the way he believes he can play and the way his daddy believes he can play, then he'll be fine. He'll be able to prove everybody wrong and essentially make the NFL look stupid for the decision that they made. Yes, he's going to lose a little bit of money. I'm sure he will, but I'm also sure that Dion will find a way, or when they sign with an agent, to make that money up. But they did that to prove
I can counter your point about
him. Let me finish talking. I will fight you. I am not scared of you, sir.
Let's go.
All right. You better get used to this.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
We all know and have seen it. There are people that can act out, and no matter what they do, they still seem to get a little bit further ahead. But there are certain people, they're going to make sure they understand their place. And this was about showing the place. This was about making sure Shedeur and Dion knew where they stood with the NFL.
All right. Let me counter all what you...
Wait, Gene.
I think
hold on.
part of putting somebody in their place was drive to the Browns. The Browns, that's where quarterbacks go to die. I think that's part of it too, putting it in their place. They put him in a place where quarterbacks don't succeed. So if you want him to fail, that's where you send him, to Cleveland.
It's like punishment.
Absolutely.
It's like punishment.
Let me counter all. Let's get the whole story. If we're gonna tell the story and blame the NFL for him dropping, let's give the whole story.
I don't think it's a blame. Really quick before you get in there, there's nobody blaming. I don't think that's the thing.
It's definitely Shedeur. It's definitely Shedeur that messed it up.
We're not saying that Shedeur doesn't have any part in.
So if I'm a top quarterback, let's go with this. I'm a top quarterback in the draft.
No, Gene.
We're not only
we're not doing that.
We're
not saying that he doesn't have any.
What are you doing?
We're saying they're choosing not to overlook it because they have overlooked it for others. And they will continue to overlook it.
Why would I draft you?
They chose not to.
If you refuse to talk to me, why would I reach up and draft? If you refuse to come work out for me, why would I come? Why would any other team draft him?
Who did Eli work out for?
He did it for Pittsburgh.
That's part.
Who did Eli work out for?
Say it again, Bobby.
Who did Eli work out for?
I'll get to the Eli story.
Who did Baker Mayfield work out for?
I would say black people been lying about the Eli story for 2 weeks now of what really happened. And
did Baker Mayfield work out for anybody?
Yeah, that's.
He didn't work out for nobody but the number one
quarterback.
Get off like
the number two quarterback don't ever. The number two quarterback in the draft class always do the work. The first one, he probably don't. And think about this: Caleb Williams is the only one that ever.
Shedeur was listed as the first one for a long time.
He was not.
Yes, he was for a long time. He
was in the conversation between 1 and 2.
If you watched the film, you knew he wasn't.
It was between him and Cam Ward for the last month or two before the draft.
Hey, listen, you got to go back to this. When they said Cam Ward was going to be the top quarterback taken, that was months ago. They said
no, it wasn't. That was weeks ago.
No, it wasn't. It was months ago.
Tennessee didn't make a decision until weeks ago. Cam Ward took a visit to Tennessee and he worked out. That's why you don't know, Gene.
Do you want the truth or you
worked out for
fakeness?
Tennessee?
Do you want the truth? Or do
Tennessee didn't say nothing until he worked out for him.
Do you want the truth? You don't want the truth because you hate the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth. The truth is, Shedeur came to the combine, only interviewed the top 5 teams in the draft. That's all he. And then he said he purposely sabotaged it. That's why he went back and was like, "Damn, I would have handled it a different way." He just said this yesterday. He said, I would have handled this situation a different way because he went in there and purposely sabotaged places he didn't want to go. He only interviewed with 5. He worked out for the Pittsburgh Steelers and Cleveland. That's it. Like,
and the
he
Jets,
worked out for those teams. He worked out with the Tennessee Titans.
I mean, no, the Giants. Excuse me, the Giants.
Well. He didn't think about the Giants. Called him a week before the draft, had him come back and redo an interview again, and everything is out there. He purposely sabotaged.
Well, why did he work out for the Cleveland Browns? Because he knew he had a better chance of starting there than anywhere else.
It wasn't even that. It was a situation where he sabotaged himself. He was sitting there
thinking about
that's his word. His words. You can't change his words.
To jump up
you
to
can't
go.
You can't change your words.
But Gene, this is the thing, Gene. Yeah, he did say that. But Gene, like, I'm gonna take a lane of my man Blake Starr. If you get caught cheating, you gonna apologize your ass off, right? Like when you fuck up, that's when you're the most honest in the goddamn world. You're like, you know what, I fucked up. Man, I am sorry, Mr. Jones. Like, whatever it is when you come to Jesus. He know he fucked up the bag. So
right,
yes, he's gonna say that, right? And is it all his fault? Is definitely not what I'm riding with. And I'm that guy.
It is definitely
and I'm that guy. You're right. We were saying that Shedeur and Travis were expected 1 and 2. They went back and forth. Gene, I know you're saying that it was longer that Cam was number 1, but in the conversation, while we were looking during the season, he was always talked about as a top elite quarterback. And then they've kind of always meshed those two as 1 and 2. So
people on the outside were saying that. Anybody with a mind knew he was a 2nd round quarterback.
And that's fine, but
anybody with a mind knew he was a 2nd round quarterback.
Well, that's not what the media said.
I mean, no matter what the media tells you, stop listening to the media because it's more shock value than actual scouting value.
Go ahead, MH.
Nobody ever listens to the scouting reports, Gene.
MH.
That's cool. I mean, none of us are football scouts here too, so we don't know if they say Shedeur was top or Shedeur was Mr. Irrelevant. We don't know. I just know the information is never that off. Right. And I think that part of it is, like I said, is representation. Right. And so and I just see like there's some things that strategically like shifted. Like if you see Cam Ward came in a, Burlington Coat Factory suit. Right. But they all worked out together. You know what I mean? So like maybe the agent was like, hey, let's shift some image here. Let's separate here. Travis Hunter went with Adidas. He got an agent. He did his whole thing. He worked out. They didn't work out together. It was more of Coach Prime was my coach. I just think there was some like just shifting of strategy, and I think parts of it is just representation. I really truly believe that.
Right. I mean, to me, it was like Deion at the beginning telling him he only gonna play for 6 teams, putting that out in the media, using his media friends, putting that information out. Like all that stuff leading up to it. Deion only went back on it like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Gene, can I ask you this one question though, right? Part of your conversation early on, you said that there was only a couple of teams that needed quarterbacks.
Yes.
So why is it wrong for him to state he's only going to a couple of teams, right? Like, so let's say that there's only, we'll say 6 teams that's going, and out of those 6 teams, he's like, I only want my son to go to 4. What's wrong with him saying that? You know what I mean? Like, or strategically doing that, right?
But you know what? I think Deion started getting real information and not this media information. That's why he went back on it. It was like, no, he'll play for anybody.
Okay. So then my last question to you is this. If you think that it was their fault, if you think that Shedeur did wrong, right? Why did the masses treat him like that? I don't think that they had to do that to him, right? Because at a point, he's supposed to be able to get information, right? So
if it's 5 teams, and it's 5 teams, you interview for the 5 teams, you crap 3 of them on purpose because you don't want to go there.
So then, yeah.
And then that information gonna spread around the league. It's gonna go around like wildfire that you crapped on them. And then the other 2, you still didn't do good in those interviews.
Allegedly,
You sabotaged 3 and you still didn't do good in the other 2. Like all this stuff is gonna spread around the league real fast. They're gonna be like, all right, what is going on here? Like, you're not taking this serious. Like, you playing around, you coming in. It's a $1 billion job. You coming in here, you're doing
agree
it.
With you. 100,000%. Any
so
percent
you can't get mad when they be like, you know what?
So you're saying now that he's done this. When does someone be like, hey, yo, man, just want to let you know, man, this shit ain't going good.
Thank you, EJ.
You done crapped on a couple of people. You done did this. The media is about to start this launch. Blah, blah, blah. You just said that this is happening,
you know what?
okay? No,
but
all right,
let me go back. Let me finish, though. That's when Deion.
I'm gonna let you finish.
No. That's when
Beyonce had the best album of all time.
But that's when Deion came out like a few weeks before the draft. It's like, hey, he'll go in because everybody started hearing stuff. Like, I think Deion knew. I think Shedeur knew. I think they knew like this was a possibility. Now, if it was me, I would not draft Dylan Gabriel over him. I would not draft any of that bum from Louisville over him. Like, none of them quarterbacks are any good. It was me. But if you crapped on those interviews in the process, I can see why teams like, you're not going to take this serious. I'm going to pass you up.
And I don't think anybody on this dais disagrees with part of the interview process as far as what's going on and how it, I don't think anyone disagrees with you. But I just think that the fact that, like, for Deion to be who he is and to have the plugs and the tap-ins and for the cohorts, because there was a group decision, right? Because you know how powerful the league is. We all know how things work in the back things, right? Like, and I'm not comparing this to Kaepernick. I want to make that clear. But there was a group decision and talk amongst like, hey, man, like, we can't have this. You know, we need a set of precedents. And I think it's more on a power dynamic or a network, kind of the same thing we talked about NIL when Mr. International was like, that was East Tennessee saying like, no, we're not going to pay you the 4. And all we're saying is like that drop from, you know, second round quarterback, what you said that the tape showed, everything showed that he was a second round quarterback. And the fact that you don't pick him in the second or late second round is total like a smack in the face. Hold on, wait. MH and then Ebony, go ahead really quick.
The only thing that it kind of reminded me of was Lamar Jackson was actually a free agent, right? And he didn't have an agent, right? And so nobody in the league made an offer to him. Obviously, he got his money because he's Lamar Jackson. He's that talented. But I think there was a collective piece like, hey, we don't want to set this precedent of this man doing this and negotiating this way. So I what EJ was saying to a little bit, I 100% agree with you, EJ. I think there's some power dynamics there. That's just what it was. And again, if he is a second round quarterback, to your point earlier, Gene, the Tim Tebow effect, maybe you just don't want a whole lot of noise. Dylan Gabriel could be a backup quarterback, right? So I'll take Dylan Gabriel to be a backup quarterback. I know if I have Shedeur, it's going to be hard for him to be in the backup because he's a star already. You know what I mean? So maybe it's a little bit of that too.
Yeah, Ebony and then Bobby. We got Ebony and then Bobby.
Go ahead, I was going to say the other thing that I think was missed is just the financial gain that teams would have had with picking him up early on. I mean, they left money on the table because even if you were going to make him the backup, even if he wasn't going to be the starter, you have to think about the jersey sales, the ticket sales. Again, depending on which team he would have went to and where their ticket sales were at, there was money being left on the table by not picking him up earlier. I'm sure that, you know, Cleveland will get a little bit, but it's nothing compared to what it would have been had he gone first round because his jersey would have sold out immediately. I mean, I even think now to a point, if they do it the right way, if they rally the right way, his jersey could still sell out in Cleveland.
It will.
I'm not wearing a Browns jersey.
But just quick before Bobby go, it all gets shared, so it don't even matter where he went. It all gets shared as one pot.
Yeah, but still, the pot would have been bigger had we let him go first round.
I thought that's why New York was going to pick him.
We had Kaepernick on the street, and he was out selling everybody. So I don't care where he would have went. He'd have been fine. Like, all that money gets split between the teams, so it don't even matter. Like, wherever he goes, he goes.
Yeah. Welcome Jazzy to the dais. Jazzy, right now we're talking about this draft, that recent draft that had. So we had a lot of comments, but Bobby's up, and then if you want to jump in or just kind of catch up to the conversation. But Bobby, what you got?
No, what I was gonna say is when Gene was talking about those two bums, he called them bums that was picked over Shedeur. I think one of the advantages that they had on there is those guys probably went and did interviews directly and they worked out for those teams. And I think that's what really hurt Shedeur, because if he doesn't work out for a team, they don't see any develop since the offseason, anything his coaches did. to get him better. And I think those guys may have came in there and with the film plus the workout could change a drafter's mind on, okay, he's developed himself in this short period of time to where now we can add on what we need to add on. With Shedeur, you don't really get that because he never worked out for none of these teams. And I think that's really what hurt him, is just the refusing to work out for him to show whatever, or them to be able to say, well, throw this route the way we want to throw, or we run this route. That's the type of stuff they're doing in these one-on-ones. And I think those dudes, the dude from Louisville and the Gabriel dude, might have went in there and wowed them. And they like, hey, man, these guys are actually better than even what the film says. And I think that killed Shedeur, and it hurt him more than anything not doing that.
And so just a couple quick things on that, right? Like, we have plenty of quarterbacks that don't do the draft, and he did a pro day. The pro days are for if you're interested in him, they kind of say, hey, well, we want to see him do this post cut. We want to see him do it. Like, the scouts are allowed to kind of put input of what they would like to see. So he did a pro day. The second part of that is like, Colin Cowherd has been really pushing this last week, is like, it's funny how some quarterbacks or players get better when they stop playing the game of football. So there's nothing like, Bobby, we talk about this shit all the time kind of coming up. Like, you could be a beast in the gym, but you can't play no damn football. Like, I get you on the between the lines and I beast you, right? So what someone's doing, at a pro day, at a Columbine, like Columbine's a TV thing. God bless NFL for turning that into another thing for us to watch it and be in the Combine. Thank you. But no, I just don't think that would have done. He was there. He was there being a good teammate. He supported all his players, was like being a team player. He may have not done the drills, but he was there. He was present. And a lot of quarterbacks don't even do that. So that's just kind of my 2 cents on that.
But I will say this. They do the interviews. Like Caleb Williams, he knew he was going to the Bears. The Bears already told him he was going to the Bears. It's fine. Jaden Daniels, when he was there, he didn't do the combine, but he did do all the interviews. He did everything else. He didn't do the measurables or anything else. But he answered all the questions. Any organization that wanted to talk to him, he talked to him. He did all the media appearances. He was there looking like, hey, I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to earn this multi-million-dollar job. And that's what a lot of them did. And I would say Deion, I was like, just like you may say, with the whole Deion person, I do agree with him. Not having that representation, not having that agent. It's like, hey, no, you might need to do these interviews. You might need to do these things. He didn't do it. Jackson Dart, the reason he got picked where he got picked was the Senior Bowl. He played in the Senior Bowl. He was there with all the NFL players the entire time, like the NFL coaches the entire time. He did everything you were supposed to do if you're not going to be the number one quarterback on the board. And that's the key.
Go ahead, Jazz.
Oh, no. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Gene. What I was going to say, and I don't know if y'all I don't know how long y'all have been, discussing this particular topic with everything
2 hours.
About the okay, that seems like par for the course. But speaking of Jaden Daniels, and then also the interviews and whatnot, one interesting thing that I saw, and I didn't even really get to stay looped in the whole little segment on the Pat McAfee show. But one interesting thing that they kind of shed some light on, and they actually had, I'll say, video to supplement it, and they had it was a pretty, I'll say, expansive mashup of meetings that they were talking about Brian Daboll, the Giants head coach specifically, and they were like, have y'all ever, do y'all know how the Giants head coach, how his meetings or his one-on-one meetings, what they are like with quarterbacks? And so they showed Jaden Daniels. They showed several other guys. But basically it was Brian Daboll and a team of, other Giants personnel. The quarterback is at the dry erase board, and Brian Daboll is basically giving the quarterback that he's interviewing the directive, hey, draw up this play. So, it almost sounds like some algebra, or looks like some algebra by the time they get through writing on the dry erase board. This is really, it's some nuanced stuff. that they are drawn up on the dry erase board. Brian Daboll is quizzing, okay, what does that mean? You know, I'm just like, okay, if this is kind of, I don't know if other meetings are like this when it comes to interview quarterbacks, but seeing that, I'm like, okay, this kind of adds a bit of, I feel like, important context in terms of why, you know, some teams might have not necessarily been reluctant, but when it comes to that particular position, because the thing I wonder is, if he was playing another position, would this have been like a, you know, like a different thing? But the only reason I'm bringing that up is because there was so much made about the interview with Brian Daboll specifically. So that's the only reason I'm bringing it up. Like, I don't know if, you know, there was something in that, you know, in that meeting that was just, you know, like they felt, you know, this is yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, is this something that, you know, he got a chance to do with these other teams that he visited? You know what I'm saying? But, you know, just bringing that up because I'm like, okay, you did pro day. Or did he not have an opportunity to demonstrate whatever is gauged when they bring quarterbacks in to, you know, to do those type of things, draw these plays up, quiz them on it, ask them what it means, and, you know, so forth. But that's that on that.
No, that's a good point, Jazzy, because I actually seen that.
Hey, listen, hey, Gruden used to have them quarterbacks on the board.
Yeah, Gruden was good at that too. But I seen the same thing with Daboll, where he would throw out coverages in different schemes, and even the same coverages he would throw. Okay, what if it's disguise and this and that, and then he would have them say, "What would you do if disguise this, disguise that?" And that's when the Jaden Daniels, the ones you're talking about. That's what Jaden Daniels was calling it out every time when he would throw a curveball and say, okay, it's a cover 4, but the safety disguised it and he turned it to a cover 2. All of a sudden, how would you do this? And what would your reads be? I seen what you was talking about with Jaden Daniels was just killing it. It was just like, okay, he knew exactly, okay, if they ran the cover 4 and they went from cover 4 to cover 2, what would be your targets? Who would be your first, your second, your third? And Jaden Daniels was able to pick that out. What we ain't able to see, of course, on this other side, because they may not, and maybe it'll come out some point. How did the Shedeur do it? I'm sure he did the same thing, and maybe Shedeur wasn't calling the proper coverages, the zones. Who's your first target, second target, third, or would you throw it away, or would you take the sack, you know, et cetera, you know, with the football terms. So no, I seen exactly what you're seeing, and that's probably got a lot to do with it too. And these coaches
hope he didn't
friends.
mess that up, though.
Yeah, he could have put that out there.
I mean, you hope so, but it's like when you see these quotes, he showed up totally unprepared. I'm like, God damn, you really might have to
that's what Bomani said. Bomani Jones said today on this podcast. He said the one thing was when he did that last interview, which was the week before the draft, he went up to the Giants and did that interview. He botched that part. He wasn't prepared for that part. And that was the issue. So if you're not prepared for that part, and they don't know if he purposely did it because he didn't want to go to the Giants, or he just really wasn't prepared. That's why they say he might have sabotaged himself on some of these interviews. For you not to like go to the board and not be ready, like, bro, that's not gonna get you no good look because the Giants gonna hit every team in the league. Like, no, he came in, did the board, scouts talk, coaches talk. They were like, he came in, wasn't even ready for this board, bro.
Right.
Like, I don't know what's going on.
So do you think that Tom Brady puts a stamp on him or coaches him and not prepares him for these things? Like if he has that person to kind of go out to, because like if I can call Tom Brady to help me with my homework as a quarterback, you know what I mean? Like it's just so many complex things up in this that we're guessing. But like for me, like that's
but could he, since Brady is now owner? Like I don't think they can have those conversations. I don't think he can. I don't think he can tell him what to do anymore.
To answer your question, I think Brady heard not directly, but Brady has a lot of people. Come on, man. Like, if I need to get something done, there's multiple ways I can get it done.
Right. But the fact that Brady didn't draft him, Brady saw something too, is like something not right.
Yeah, but you keep saying Brady
has like a percent of the team.
Brady has
let's move past that. Let's move past that.
We'll go. Marley doesn't want to talk about that either. So
let's move past that. Yeah.
but just no, man. Like I just think that for him not being prepared, it's just all of the stuff that we don't know. Right, there was so much convoluted stuff in this. Right, from what he did, how he was kind of pushed out there if he had representation. So, but it was definitely, I don't want to look past the cultural thing, as Van Lathan said, because that cultural, or if you don't want to say cultural, that power dynamic was definitely a part of this. You know, when you're coming in for an interview, right? Like at the end of the day, we do know it's an interview. And you know, he may have not put his best foot forward, but I think there's ways you tell people, right? Because like, I mean, a lot of you people are hiring at the hiring level, right? Like, God bless you, Marley. You know, pretty much everybody on here is at hiring level or manager above, you know, and if someone does bad, you don't embarrass them, you know what I mean, on an interview. So if they do bad, you don't go out your way, and there's ways that they could have let him know and done things than to humiliate him and picking him in 144.
And like your mate said, not having an agent in that room with him is probably what went bad. Like when you just have your homeboys with you in your entourage, anybody gonna tell you did bad? Because I don't even think his dad went with him to the Giants one. I think he went on his own.
Yeah, but you mean to tell me Deion ain't got nobody that would have called him like, yo.
Yeah, that.
Deion don't listen to nobody. I don't know why people don't get this.
Yeah,
I mean, not saying it like it's the main person or something like that. I'm just saying somebody that even if it's a fandom kind of thing, like
I think they were feeding him stuff. That's why he was changing his tune in the media.
Because somebody saw the report.
Somebody,
yeah, they were feeding him because he was changing his tune.
And the question is, were they the best person for that? Is the question for that particular, you know, exchange? That's the question.
Correct. Jazzy, I agree with you. Made a great point. I don't want to just pass over. I don't know if this all doesn't happen if he plays a different position anyway.
If he played linebacker, wouldn't have.
Yeah, I don't know. We're not even talking about it. As Mr. International said, do not bring up Shiloh. If he's playing a different position, we're not even really talking about this. So that's a great point.
All right, so is everybody's lines?
Oh, shout out to Travis Hunter. Let's
man. All right, so MH, you do a little scouting, man. You definitely be in the films, man. What's your thing on Travis Hunter going to the Jaguars, man? What do you think, man?
101, best place that he can go to. Partly because the Jaguars play in an international twice a year anyway, so he gonna be an international superstar. The Jaguars told him, hey, we're gonna let you do what you do, right? Travis Hunter is about to be an international superstar. Praying for his health. I'm just happy for the brother, man. He's always happy. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. He's one of one. He's the only person that got a major defense award and a major offense award in 1 year. The bad thing about this whole Shedeur thing and the number retirement, I think it dimmed the light on what Travis Hunter is. Shedeur get his number retired as well as Travis Hunter. Like, this is Travis Hunter. He is one of one. He should get the love that he deserves. So let's make sure we shout out Travis Hunter for real.
Yeah.
So, offense or defense, what should he play?
Both
of them.
So everybody equally feels the same.
Both of them.
You got to at least try it.
Yeah.
You got to at least try both.
Hey,
I feel like you should take more snaps. You should take more snaps on defense. Okay, more snaps on defense. Occasional. Occasional. I'm gonna just say
I think he's offense.
Yeah, I say offense.
I think he's off. Only reason I say that is because every time he played a big receiver in Colorado, they abused him.
Stanford game. Stanford game didn't look.
The good thing about it is that
receivers abused
him at Stanford is on his team now.
Yeah.
So he get a lot of practice with that receiver that dealt him at Stanford. He on his team. They both went.
I think you play him in offense and you play him in this slot side on defense. You let him be free. Let him be more like a free safety on defense, and let him play full-time wide receiver. Receiver where the money at.
So you tell him to bring a nickel package?
Yeah, like because he gonna get tired in this league. As much as he say he won't, he gonna get tired.
Nah, they should play offense, play a little bit defense. I mean, you gotta think about like Ohtani, man. Ohtani he pitch and hit, and he gets $800 million contract. So don't limit the brother. Let him play offense.
Let him do both.
And hold on, he can't play safety because they drafted Rayon Lane III.
Yeah. Mansfield, Ohio.
Shout out to Mansfield, Ohio.
Mansfield, Ohio, baby.
Stand up.
Stand up, Northfield, Ohio.
You better rep where you from, EJ. Mansfield, Ohio.
Baby, let's go.
I do have a genuine question, though. I mean, like, for real. Like, I genuinely wonder, because I've never looked inside of a cornerback or a wide receiver's playbook. So in terms of that, in terms of absorbing information for both positions game to game, I mean, do y'all think that would have any bearing on which
He's been doing it?
You know,
he's been doing it.
Okay.
Same thing. They go back and forth. A cornerback is just coverages. You just need to know certain coverages. It's pretty simple. As offense, you got to know
simple.
Particular.
I wouldn't say simple.
But I'm saying it's not as difficult to do as you may think it is, because if you know what the coverage is, you just know the coverage. You know where you're supposed to be. You know if you're pressed. You know if you're off. You know where you're on. You know if you're on the 1, 2, or 3, depending on what corner you are. On offense is a little bit more difficult because it's just a little bit more wordage on the routes you got to run. So offense is going to be a little bit more complicated for him because he's going to have to remember, okay, I'm receiver. He's not going to be number one receiver, whichever he is. If he's the slot, then he's got to remember the slot. But it's going to make it easier because if he's on cornerback and he covers those people, he pays attention to the routes they run anyways. So it kind of conjoints together at some point to make it simplify, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Bobby, I'm usually with you.
TB of the show,
right? I'm really. Bobby says I'm usually with you right here, man. But I just wouldn't throw easy at anything in the defense.
I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying it's doable for him.
He said the playbook.
He knows the game.
I don't even know the sack.
That's what he's saying. The playbook.
You can say, but just back to that Brian Daboll thing, you can say, we're gonna start off in cover one. This guy motion here, this shifts. Okay, now we check into this. Oh, okay, we know when this guy's in the slot, they like to do this. Oh, this is his alignment. There's a whole lot of stuff that goes mentally into just
don't cover the best guy.
Hold on, ain't you a Kansas City fan? Like, don't y'all put like so many motions and different?
Y'all
got the merry-go-round huddle and y'all got all this shit. You just gonna tell me it's just easy?
Easy.
He's on offense and they're using him as a slot and a 2 at sometimes, then that could be confusing. I'm saying if they sit Destiny and say you're always going to play slot receiver and then you're always going to be number one cornerback, it ain't easy. Let me take that out the vocab.
Yeah, there we go.
But it's doable for him to understand it. Now, the problem would be if they keep bouncing him around from slot to 2 to maybe 1 on certain plays, then he's got to remember. Now he's got to know the playbook for all 3 or 4 positions on offense. And then defense, I'm sure defense, they're not going to move him around. He's going to be the protective cover corner on number 1. That's not going to be as hard for him to learn as any other position because he knows what he's got to do on that. Offense is where it's going to get tricky is how are they going to play him? Are they going to move him around? Or are they going to say, every time you get in the game, you're at slot or you're at 2, you're at 1. That'll be the only way. They're going to have to do that to make it at least early in his career for him to be able to do it. He won't be able to do it if they keep moving him around, and he's going to get confusing.
I don't think it's a mental thing. I think offense, for one, that the Jaguars had one of them ones at wide receiver. What's his name? Brian Thomas. Yeah, they got one of them.
Right.
So he don't have to be the main guy on offense.
Right.
But I also say offense just from a health standpoint. He can't control if he's the corner and they motion into some bunch set. And they crack down, and you got to go tackle some running back. You got to tackle Derrick Henry. He can't control that. I think he can keep himself a little.
He ain't tackling Derrick Henry, y'all.
He don't. No, that's what I'm saying. So play a little bit more offense just to keep yourself healthy.
No, no.
That's why I wanted him on offense.
Brian Thomas is one of them, though.
They're gonna do some things on defense. If he's not following it at number 1, they're gonna have him big tight ends on him. They're gonna do all types of crazy stuff. They're like, he's right there.
It's gonna be
okay. He's gonna have to move.
Come tackle.
Yeah, they're gonna make him try to tackle.
Well, it'll be interesting. One thing, and MH, I'm gonna kind of defer to you on this because I didn't see it as much, but I text you. I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. Right. So every time we watch the draft, there's always how they go about black families and talk about the father not being in the life and talk about like, oh man, the struggle is real, and you know they only have pork and beans to eat, and like they go in hard on the black families, and like so. Right when the draft comes out, and this is kind of coming from I'm that guy's question, like why they get the bad kind of publicity on Travis. And that's the thing that came out. Like, they was like, so Travis's father is going to get to join him, like attempting to make it like a momentous occasion. And it's like, because he got relief from prison to be.
Hey, listen, I got a different angle on this. I hate it too. I hate it, but I got a different angle on that.
Like, why we got like the top dude? Like, can't he just come up to the draft like his dad's there? But he's like, he had to get permission to get his ankle bracelet tied. No, like,
I got a different angle on it though.
That's why.
So I say, like, I feel like there was a strategic move to say, like, hey, we're gonna separate just a little bit from the Sanders family. It's not like Coach Prime is another dad. It's Coach Prime was your coach. Matter of fact, we're gonna get you. We'll get your dad there. Don't we'll get your don't talk about that. We're gonna get your pops there, right? I think that's more. To me, that's what that's how I
take
see
away
it.
from that, right? Like,
yeah. Now we Coach Prime was your coach. We don't need no second dad right now. We not his kids is Shadur and Shiloh. You Travis Hunter. You 1-on-1. We'll get Pop there. We'll get Pop there.
And also let you know how powerful the NFL is.
We'll get Pop there. That's your coach. That's your coach.
There. Yeah, Pops will be there.
Don't worry about Pop. Pop's gonna be there. We'll get him there.
NFL got a lot of power. You know they got the best power. Oh, obviously, you take that off your dad to be here. Like, we got you.
Put those Adidas on. No, don't worry about Nike. Put your Adidas on. We'll get Pops there. Don't worry about all that, bro. We got you. And you're gonna go to Green Bay. You're not staying home. You're going to Green Bay.
You're going to Green Bay. Like, don't have a private legendary party sponsored.
No. Take your body right to Green Bay. You can dance. You can dance on stage. All that. But you going to Green Bay?
I love it. No crazy moments this year. Like, I mean, well, I guess. Go ahead. You got some baby throwing up. Yeah, the baby throwing up was like the craziest moment.
I missed that.
But I do want to talk about Derek Harmon. Prayers to that man. His mom passed away after he got
at a funeral, right?
Yeah, luckily he was able to make it to the hospital before she passed away. But prayers to that man.
No, that's to like have your worst day or week and then like a bright moment, like at the same time.
All at one time.
That's definitely heavy hard. Any other moments from the draft?
I'm still thinking about the other draft. I don't know if it was the one from last year, but as soon as EJ, as soon as you broached that, you already know what I'm finna say. And the lady was like, how far did you guys come? Or how far did you walk?
Struggle.
And the mama was like, we came from Louisiana or something.
She gave mileage, kilometers. we just drove around the corner.
Right. Straight up.
Anyway,
there was a cool moment from the Browns. They all had they won. Their T-shirts all said "Sanction Girls Flag," so that was dope to see on the forefront, getting girls flag sanctioned all 50 states.
No, that's dope.
Yeah, I quite frankly, I didn't know what the green room was gonna be looking like. I'm just like, I had no idea.
So that was one of the questions, and we'll slowly get out of here. If anybody has anything else, but one of the things I think we talked about this, MH, was should Milroe go to the Skillet? Should Milroe even go to the draft? I asked, would you guys go to, like, if you were in, because it's the same question we had on the show, would you go to the green room in Green Bay if you were Milroe?
No. I know what I am. No.
Did he kind of already know though? Like, I refuse to believe that he really thought he would get. I just don't believe he really thought he was gonna get drafted in the first or second round. I really think like he just was like, I'm gonna just show up. I'm gonna just
get this fit off.
Comes around. Ain't no way he got any feedback from, especially at the Senior Bowl. Oh my God!
He got to get that fit off. He got to get a fit off.
He wanted the experience.
And if that was the goal, mission accomplished. He did do that.
You gonna go? You gonna Black Summer?
I mean, the A&M team stuck around.
I probably had to be guaranteed at least second round, like pretty much a guarantee. Like I think if I was, like a guaranteed second round, I would go because I want the experience, and I'm only gonna get drafted once. Like why I gotta do it in my living room, my grandmama's living room? Like you say,
I ain't even gotta be second round. I'm with you, Blake. I'm going for the
really. Really?
Right.
Okay.
That had to have been it. That had to have been it.
I'm gonna go hang out. I'm gonna see what it's about. You only get drafted once.
I would sit there all 3 days.
I don't know about all 3 days.
I don't care if I was still relevant. I'll be sitting there.
Somebody did sit there all 3 days.
All 3 days.
Listen, do they feed me all 3 days?
Yeah,
I mean,
if I get fed,
what that stipend looking like?
Yeah, I'm going to cheese.
I'm on the live. I'm gonna hold my own
Ebony, you know what, Ebony, you really own to something, Ebony, because I was looking at. I'm like, baby, all I need is some hookahs and bottles.
Yep. That's what I've been doing.
I'm doing live with everybody. Let me get my followers up. Why you playing?
Everybody else flew out to meet the
Why the hookah though?
I got the tape before ESPN, baby. Come see what I got at my table.
Yep. I did a stream all the way. I did a stream all the way to our draft. 72 hours.
Come look at my
and that's the thing. So who is it? The Texas? What kid was it that came out in the short set? Right? He ran out of clothes.
Green Bay.
Yeah,
right. Dude from A&M. He was supposed to get drafted in the second round, so he stayed.
He wasn't properly prepared.
The next day, the third day.
Like someone should have told him, like, "Hey man, you might want to bring a suit or two."
Yeah, no.
Listen, you can wear the same suit, just change up the shirt.
That boy had his moment though. He had his moment.
Turn that jacket inside out.
And Green Bay loved him though. Green Bay embraced him and like went all out for him. So. All right, Marley, Mr. International, y'all going? What's the word? Y'all taking a chance?
I'm only going if I'm not going to be one of the ones that they got me all sad looking like Aaron Rodgers when he was waiting to get drafted. I got to be one of the ones they're not going to be in my face like that. But yeah, I go.
Yeah, I'm with my girl. I'm with my girl on that. I just don't want to be the guy that they keep saying he's supposed to go as the second pick, and then I drop to the 5th round. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm in the building and I have no expectations, I'm there to have a good time and talk and congratulate the guys as they get drafted, man, because we're gonna see each other in the industry for the next 10 years. I'm all for it, and especially if they got the hookah lounge set up in the back with Jazzy and the girls in the back.
How we sponsor that hookah table? We need to figure that out.
I'm like, hey, man, I ain't gonna get dropped today. I'm back at the hookah. I'll be in the hookah round. Y'all call me if y'all
get us the hookah sponsor.
That's a good look for you.
If my phone ring, I'm gonna run back over here and get with y'all, but I ain't expecting my phone to ring, so I'm over here kicking it. You know what I'm saying? So just get at me.
Yeah.
What MHA? I just got an alert about your boy Shiloh. The CFL claimed negotiation rights if it don't work in the NFL.
Oh no!
Good for him.
Dude,
got options, right?
Listen, if Shiloh put on more weight, he can definitely play linebacker, but he's just a little light because he hit hard. He's just a little light to play linebacker.
But I mean, you put him in a program, man, they can bulk up, man.
Yeah, he can bulk up like Shiloh can thump. So, and he thump legally. He don't, headhunt.
I want all of the Shiloh conversation edited out. That's all I'm saying. That's my from today. Every time I hear Shiloh, I need you to hit cut, edit, and then
okay, but and that's fair, but why, man? Why we hating on Shiloh, man?
Well, I'm not hating on him. He said it himself. Like, hey, man, I don't even really need to be in this conversation. If your ass ain't get drafted, I know I might get drafted. Like,
that's the old buddy.
He said, shit, if
what they gonna do to me?
What they gonna do to me? No, it was.
He said, I got my
That's
invitation to your
exactly
draft
what
party.
I expected from Shiloh, though. I expected that exact type of reaction from Shiloh. Because he is definitely one of the sillier
I came to my brother's draft party. I'm just happen to be on camera.
I'm just happy to be here. So do you think he really fired Pops and got an agent? It's like that's they didn't have anybody consulting. Like, what do y'all
Really
think
did.
on that part?
No, he really did.
Yeah,
he
no,
fired
he
his
did that.
dad and got Drew Rosenhaus. He
No, he
really
did
did
that.
it.
Yeah,
Wait, who? I'm late. I'm just breaking news to me. Who
Shiloh literally.
There you go.
Shiloh fired his dad and got Drew Rosenhaus. And Drew Rosenhaus
See,
got
that's what I'm talking about with Shiloh. You
Yeah.
just never know what the hell he gonna do.
He probably
Shiloh
went in
is
the back was like, "Hey,
definitely-
Dad, you fired.
You fired, bro.
You
gave
done.
us the wrong game plan.
You're a good coach, but you messed this one up.
You messed this
But
one up.
no.
I love you, Daddy.
Was
love
Dion
you,
really his agent? Was Dion really acting as his agent of record?
No, he was. He was acting as his agent.
And see, that's the thing, right? So, it's different sport, but I'm attempt to connect the parallels. So, Jaylen Brown with the Celtics was like, you can negotiate your first contract, right? It's really not that hard to do because with the NBA, PA, they give you all of the legal, they give you legal advice, they talk you through it. You have representation of people you can talk to, right? So I would have to imagine the same thing is with the NFL. And I don't believe it has really much to do when you're talking about a him that blocks you from getting to where you need to get, right? Like, I mean, maybe if you're not a top player, but Jaylen Brown wasn't a top player coming out of college, was he?
Jaylen Brown is smart as hell, though.
That is part.
Hey,
but what I'm
the brother
saying
put on a
is,
seminar at MIT. He all right. He was all right. If he didn't get
the smartest guy in the NBA,
he was gonna be all right.
He was the top 3 pick.
The funny part about it, that's the knock on. That's the knock, is that he's too smart and he has too many outside activities that they didn't think he was going to be a good NBA player because they didn't think he can get him to focus on basketball because the dude was too smart and had too many other things going. So if that's my knock is that I'm too good at this, that I could do other things, then I think I'm going to be all right. I'm going to be all right. Now, Shiloh, since we talk about him on the other hand, Shiloh could have kept his dad, fired his dad. He was not getting drafted. I could have been his agent. No. And my conversation would have been like, bro, we need to start brushing your film up and get it out to the CFL and to some other leagues and get some work. Hey, Drew, give me an invite to the party at the house, at the legendary function, and then we can get
Drew Rosenhaus got him signed to the Bucks. That's all that matters.
So when this happened, I guess the argument is right because Ricky Williams went with Master P to negotiate his contract. But you're talking about a different talent, right? Okay, I'll correct myself on that, but like remember. Ricky Williams had Master P as his agent when he signed his deal.
He gave him a 360 deal. Long term in the league, how did that fare for him? That was
that first contract
decision he ever made. He made a lot of bad decisions. That was the worst. Nothing, no knock on Master P.
Like how you get put in a 360 deal as an NFL player?
He said a 360 deal in the NFL.
No, that's what it was. It was worse than that.
Well, I want to close it out, man. I truly appreciate y'all. Great conversations. I hope the chat was on fire. I appreciate the chat. JL Neil, I'm that guy. I mean, we had Ebony's whole fan club in here. J Neil, who else in here? You just got a lot of people. Thanks everybody for joining in on that. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that on people's hearts and mind before we get out of here? And we'll see you, of course, in May. But I can go around of him. Oh, there she is.
Hey, little baby.
Anything I got no rights to the show, but can we dub her as the queen of the show? The little one? Can we just go ahead and dub her as the queen?
Say hey.
All day. Look at that smile. There it is. Hey, just like a dad, already got something to say. Just put it out there. Tell them how it is, girl. That's right. Yeah, you go around the horn. Anybody got anything?
What you doing?
I mean, you might have to do one mid-month though. We in the middle of playoffs, and it's been ignorant already.
Yeah, the playoffs.
Yeah, and especially this Cavaliers Heat Double fire.
Look, Cavaliers,
I'm gonna say I would have loved to be in the ref meeting.
Hey, one at a time, because I didn't hear any of you guys.
I just was saying, I personally would have loved to sit in the the meeting for the NBA refs to see what they told them to let these boys to play the way that they are letting them play right now. Would you say, hey, man,
let them play?
Hey, let them play. Say, hey, they've been complaining about the 90s and the 80s and how tough ball was back then. Let these brothers go out there, throw the ball out, and say the fuck out the way. Point blank. And I love it. I love every minute of it. And the part I love about it, I watched that Laker game last night, and you're watching Anthony Edwards press LeBron to a point where this man is running down the court like, damn, I'm supposed to get a call. I get this call every night. This is my call. What's happening? And Anthony Edwards was like, I'm in your shit. Tonight, they told me when I walked up the locker room, they said, play his ass as hard as you can tonight. We're gonna let you go. And he got the message and showed up. So I'm impressed with the officiating. It's still bad calls, they still missing shit, they still ruining the game at times, but they have decided as a group that we're gonna go out every night and let these cats play like they're supposed to get after it for this money. We're gonna let them go. I love it. And I love the storyline of the NBA right now. It's the part that always makes us say it's scripted, but they are shining the light on the people that they want, and they're letting the other ones transition out. And this is that if Anthony Edwards wins this series, the light is going to start shining even brighter. They're going to continue to do what they want to do to forward their agenda, to have the new face of the league. And I love the fact that they're allowing them to fight for their own pecking order in the system right now. And so what you see every night in and night out right now is cats that I got the bag, but it's about pride right now. I'm not about to let this cat push me around. And now we're seeing real basketball. And some cats that aren't in the league right now are watching these games going like, damn, I got 5 more years in this league. If they let us play like this, I could be a baller. Yeah, like they go. If I knew this, I would have just hung back and I would have waited to make my shine in the playoffs. So it's beautiful right now for what's happening on the court. I appreciate it. Sad that my Kings ain't in it. Whole nother story, but just it's nice to see it. I am gonna say this: if y'all watch that Laker game right now, you don't feel like Dallas was too far off on what they decided to do with Luka, because he looked like trash in the fourth quarter.
You took the thought out of my head. I was about to say I have a confession, and my confession is like, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I feel bad. I felt bad for Nico Harrison. I ain't gonna lie. I heard the man need to have bodyguards to go out and stuff. I'm like, ooh. And they holler, fire, Nico. I'm just like, oh, Lord.
Yeah, that's messed up. That's my homie. Shout out to him.
Hey, Nico watched the last series that they played in and said, damn, we could have won it all if this motherfucker could have played defense. He got to go. He said, because and you watched it last night. It was disrespectful in the Celtics series. The way it was like, give me the ball, screen, I want him because I'm going to Luka. And you seen it last night with like, yeah, switch it up, give me the ball. He on me, give me the ball, let me go. And it wasn't one player, it wasn't the star player, it was every player that got the ball and could get a switch on him, said, I'm about to make this guy play some defense. He can go down and shoot 40 shots, but every time we get the ball, we're gonna make it a point.
Go at him.
He is not the guy on defense.
You know why? Because Luka loved that hookah.
Yeah. Well, he was at Jazzy.
Hey, was he at the draft?
And if you know you've been to the D, you know you can find a hookah lounge 24 hours a day. So right.
Luka love that hookah, man. He loved that hookah.
But it was truly, to me, like watching this series last night, that if he played defense or rebounded in the fourth quarter as one of the biggest men on the court, that he could have changed that game, and they could have took that game home last night and tied that series up. And he had points in the game where it's lit. I felt like I coached 5th and 6th graders. I felt like I was watching him. I was screaming like, rebound, box out, do something. And I'm watching this dude, and I'm like, at this point, take his ass off the court. He melded in. He said, I'm not going to play no defense.
And listen, that's one of the things they were, I mean, and I hate I didn't get to watch the game like I really wanted to because I work nights. But that's one of the things, and I don't know if y'all had discussed this, but how JJ Redick decided to play
only 5.
Like the whole for the
game.
rest
That's
of the what?
That
was crazy.
Whole game.
And that's saying a lot to the rest of the people on the bench. Like,
y'all suck.
Y'all getting free check the distance tonight.
But that's on JJ too, because he didn't sub them in the second half.
Yeah,
that's definitely on JJ.
Listen,
like, you gotta
LeBron
have
felt
somebody
his age last night, though.
LeBron
felt
I'm
his
like,
age last
call
night.
for it. They had to, I'm like, I wonder would he have if they would have called like sub,
like take me out for at
Man, I
least
gotta-
a minute.
Hey, on the
Like,
real,
agreed.
Lucas should have tapped out. He should have said, "Look, man, I got nothing left." Like at this point right now, I'm just playing half court
LeBron
basketball.
too. None of them had
Them
nothing.
boys, LeBron was cooked too.
They
They were just sitting there.
overestimated
They was
themselves.
cold.
That's what I said.
Hey.
LeBron felt his age last night. He knew how old he was last night.
Hey, JJ Redick said, "If I'm gonna be out, it's gonna be on your ass." So, so hey, they won't say, "Hey, they won't say I didn't have the right guys on the court." they won't say that.
I was like, yeah,
Well,
I
really
burn
quick.
him for the next game because he had him out there for so long.
So speaking of, so MH said bye. Thanks for coming on the April Live. Knicks in 5.
Hey, we didn't touch on that. It is
Until they meet my Celtics. Until they meet my Celtics.
No, he didn't say that. He didn't say that, but I wanted to do that for the Lakers, but it's not looking good for the Lakers. But he did say shout out to the Knicks and all of our listeners. You all know that MH is a true Knicks fan. I think he's had some bets with a couple of you guys on here with your team. But they're kind of going back to what MH what International brought at the beginning is they're letting them play. Because I thought I was going to see Alice again. Boys was getting.
The two fouls, the one on Jimmy Butler and the one on Ja Morant, man, them was full-fledged undercuts, like.
We fight.
I saw that Ja when I was like,
Blake,
that hurt.
Blake. Hey, what's the neighborhood park that the boys play at, man? Because at the neighborhood, you either got to fight or you got to pick up the ball, man, and go take your foul. And that's what it was. It was just simple street. Hey, it was street basketball. It's like, hey, you're not about to come in here and do all of that. We're not about to let all this ride unless they're gonna give me a T or put me out the game. I'm about to push these refs to make this call.
I agree. They split
like this shit, like Hunger Games.
Hey, the boy was. Hey, he was looking like a fight. He was looking like a fighter.
Yeah.
Hey, but I'm gonna tell you this. He went to the locker room. They stitched him up like Ivan Drago and sent his ass back out there. Hey, we gotta get this money. Let's go.
Listen, the Knicks, that's their problem. If Brunson go out, they done for. Like they can't handle it. Every single time they're down, that man falls out. They take him to the bank. I don't know what they shooting up in him, but they shoot it up. He come back out and he lose his damn mind on the court. That has happened multiple times. He has to be able to play it through because if he don't, the Knicks are done.
I'm not a fan of
They might need to just go. They need to just go ahead and take a L.
The Knicks are done anyway. The Knicks.
Once the Knicks play the Celtics, it's over anyway.
Yeah, it's over.
Well,
over.
Wow.
Done.
Wow.
Nah.
I'm gonna say this: if they let the Knicks play the way the Knicks have been playing, we're gonna see a series that we haven't seen. Because some of them cats for the Knicks they're skilled basketball players and great athletes, but the dog that you see in Brunson and some of them cats on the Knicks, they ain't built like that. And that's and as long as they let them play the way that they
definitely not built like that.
Hey, when your name is Big Cat, when your name is Big Cat, we know what time it is.
Got too much. Got too much for
but if they let the Knicks play the way they have allowed them to play in this previous series, we're gonna see. And like you said, malice and we're gonna see some points in that series where some of the Boston Celtics cats gonna have to remember that I signed a contract to play basketball. I'm not with that life.
I'm not with all that.
Exactly. And I'm telling you, you're gonna hear a Phil Jackson like conversation at the end of game one that they talk nothing about the game and all about the experience for the players with the fouls. And this ain't basketball. This ain't the NBA. Like guys that's been getting calls all year ain't been getting calls because it's gonna be a problem when they feel that pressure, and they're gonna feel it. And if they let them fight now, what we might see is the NBA say it's good for the brand. For the Celtics to be in the finals, and hey, we need y'all to call them fouls in this round. You might see it, but if they let them boys
that's what
play,
you're gonna see. But you ain't gonna see it to the Eastern Conference Championship.
It's
gonna go down. Well, no, it's good for the ratings. Everybody likes this brand of basketball, right?
It's gonna happen.
It is. I thoroughly enjoyed this Knicks Pistons series. I mean, it's been
other than the OKC series, every series has been semi-competitive with some beef that's brewing in the background.
The Cavs up 50 right now.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
like why? Because they're not playing in New York.
Turn the whole game.
Well, Miami's not that good either. I mean,
yeah, they had it.
You know, they came to New York and got ran up out of here real fast. They was at the club the night before. It was not good for them. I guess in Miami, they confined them to the hotel. They said, stay ass here. Y'all saw what happened last time. No, y'all can't go outside. Stay right here.
Mm-hmm.
Stay right here.
Marley, who's your team? Basketball.
Celtics.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what she kind of felt when I said the physicality might impact the people. Kind of silly.
That's mighty ironic, ain't it? Dodgers fan.
You know, give us the origin story. That's where we can validate that.
When Allen Iverson phased out the league, I had to pick a new player, and I landed on Rondo. And I stuck with the Celtics. When Rondo got there, 2006.
You got it.
We were awful.
Hey, from here on out, everything you say is golden. I ain't got nothing to say because I'm a huge Rondo fan. I think Rondo got a bad shake from the league. Rondo is probably during his era one of the best actual point guards, not basketball players, but point guards to be in the NBA during his period of time in the league, by far. And he took a team with 4 Hall of Famers on it, all very opinionated, all very strong personalities, and he told them we're gonna play the basketball the right way, and I'm gonna control who get the rock. And he did it, and they won. And who was the coach?
Doc Rivers.
And he's terrible. He's trash. so he did it with Doc at the helm.
Hey, I give you that though.
Trash.
Hey, you know what? Best thing you said all day. Doc Rivers is terrible.
Doc is trash. Doc can have perennial Hall of Famers on his team and still figure out a way to fuck it up. Straight up.
You're right.
And that's what we've watched it over and over again with teams giving him a blank check to get whoever you need to be successful. And at the end of it, it all goes to shambles and he's on a new team.
Giannis out the door. Giannis is offseason. Hey, I'm out of here, y'all.
Oh, hey, Giannis might end up in sack. I was happy last night. I said, shit, that went so bad, he might even entertain an option in sack.
That was terrible. Houston got all those assets. Houston should not somebody that can score.
Gene, I'm with you, but I don't want Houston to do it that way because I feel like they're building it the right way right now. And if they just stay the course, and keep
that's all they need. We need somebody is a score.
Yeah, but you bring Giannis on the team, and it changes the whole dynamic.
They cannot.
They can't shoot, and they need somebody else.
They need somebody to supplement Jalen Green's inconsistency for sure. Like
for sure,
somebody that can.
Yeah, we need somebody that can shoot.
Since we're talking about it, if Curry just manages to make it to the Western Conference Finals, slips into the finals, it's not likely they'll win it. But if they do, is he the LeBron area champ? Is he the real era of this, the champ of this era? Is he the guy?
He mess around and win this?
Yeah, I think y'all
that conversation.
I mean, the conversation should already be had.
I love
this conversation
because that team from the beginning, when they was drafted as a team, everybody had crap to say about them, and they came up and they showed everybody like, watch what we can do, and they've been doing that. And they tried to put it on. Oh well, then they got KD. Listen, they was winning before he got there.
No, that did matter though.
Blake,
and they went after.
I built the house before you. I let you move in. I put you out, and we still thriving.
Yeah.
Oh no, that still won the championship after.
Yeah.
That mattered.
With the likes of guys like Klay Thomas and that, you see where guys leaving and they go somewhere and they're not the same. It's not the same.
If they mess around and win this year, that gap just whoosh. Real
at the point that you get bounced out at the first round and I'll make it to the Western Conference, we got to approach this conversation and really start looking at. I did it in my house, my way, with whoever they put on the rosters, the likes of Wiggin. What was my man that won we had what's my man that won the MVP for him? That locked Bron down.
Iguodala.
Eagle Dollar. Eagle Dollar. That was a factor. We brought Durant in. We shipped him out. We brought Jimmy in. We didn't brought everybody from the whole league in here. And then every time he's like, we don't know if it's gonna work, but we made it work.
And I still think Curry should have won Finals MVP in that series. They gave it like Iggy just shut up. Had a couple of good plays against LeBron, but LeBron was still averaging like 35.
It was big game play. It was big game play. It was big claim. And Curry, and I think for Curry, his resume at the end looked like somebody that could have won it, but it wasn't like I just stamped that I dominated this series. And so I think they again, if LeBron's my man, we don't want that man over there winning everything at the same time, because that's who we featuring as the guy of the league. But I think right now we're starting to figure out that you can put Steph on all rosters and it's a difference maker. And LeBron is somebody that got to get to a place, bring in a couple guys. It's all got to be the right fit, and it's got to be in the bubble. It's got to be in the bubble. It's got to be some kind of way where it works for me to be.
It's definitely
he wasn't in the bubble.
Yeah,
he wasn't in the bubble.
LeBron didn't win that. Ray Allen won that. That wasn't LeBron.
It's gonna be real interesting down the stretch. Real interesting, because if Curry makes it to the Western Conference Final with this roster that we wrote off mid-season, it's gonna be interesting. Because you got Luka, I got Jimmy, and I did it with Jimmy, and you didn't do it with one of the best top 5 players in the NBA, right? Legend.
And the fact of the matter is, at this point, he's just holding on because he got to break records because he ain't got the championship.
And Warriors don't even have an Austin Reeves. They don't even have a third person.
After Butler, who's the next offensive player on the team? Nobody. It's literally, we're going to let him play ISO to distract you from Curry so Curry can get hot, and then we're going to let him cook, and then it's going to be too late. It's crazy.
It's Buddy Hield every once in a while.
Yeah, I like Buddy, though, so let's not talk too down on Buddy. I like Buddy. Yeah, no, it's interesting right now to see the West and the dynamics of the West, and the fact that the change of the guards is happening right before our eyes, and not that they're giving it away. And they never gave it to LeBron, but it was kind of like, this is the new face of the NBA, and this is a guy that we got to watch, and this is our guy. But there's guys that right now are saying, look, man, this light belongs on me, and I'm going to fight to get this light. And we're watching cats take their shine right now, and I love it. I love it.
It's like they're trying to retire that. Like, it's our time now.
Because at the end of that game, LeBron had to watch that and go in there and be like, damn, I don't know if that young Anthony Edwards can we do something to make him not be guarding me the next night? Because that was a little bit too much for me, man. I ain't young like that no more.
I told you.
When Anthony Edwards went straight into his chest, I was like,
he's straight feeling his age now. He's feeling his age now.
Yeah, I'm no longer.
I think Ed knew he was tired. He knew LeBron was tired too.
And when after, and that was the thing,
pushing on him.
And that was the thing they said about Ant last year. He was definitely tired. He's like, yep, that's the only thing last year that stopped him is like my cardio. Let me get this. And he came back and he went after people. Not fourth quarter.
Because he was eating all them hot Cheetos.
And the thing I love about Anthony Edwards,
his weakness is hot Cheetos.
And is coming down the court demanding the best guy. It's no running from nothing. Like, oh, I want to guard that guy. Like, that's who I want to take out right now. Like, let me go get at him. Give me the ball. I want to work this cat right now. It's nothing about like I'm picking and choosing. Whoever it is, I'm coming to bring that work. Let's go. And it's a beautiful thing.
Hey, look, I almost cussed him out when he pulled up from half court. I was like, that wasn't needed at that time, man. It wasn't needed at that time.
That boy said he checked. I feel like I'm on fire real quick.
So close down to the end.
But you think about last year with the same thing he did to KD is what he's doing to LeBron right now.
They went after each other. I'm gonna go to the old head.
Yeah, I'm taking him off my list. He was one of the greats. Put your name on the list. Check off. I came at you, and I put you out in 3 games. Because we know right now you ain't gonna get these last 3. One of them we getting.
I think I was muted though. I think Gene was like the hot Cheetos is Ant's weakness. I don't know about that. That might be one of his weaknesses.
Oh, we got another weakness.
Don't go there, John. Why you do that? Why you do that?
No, we don't get down here.
Hey, he's only going to the club for the wings. It's only for the wings.
Listen, they got banging wings. The wings are always really good. The wings are really good. I can testify to that.
And he in Minnesota, so it ain't enough for brothers to up there.
Right. I mean,
after so long,
he on the road. He got to do something because he's in Minnesota.
At some point in time, he's like, "Damn,
he's been banging off season."
He said, "How much is going to cost me?" He said, 18 years, multiply that by $750 a month. I think I got that. Let's just come on through. It's all good. It's all good. Let's do that.
Right.
No, he said, "Hold on, I got to make a call. Hey, we can cover that. Yeah, all right, come on through. It's good. Don't worry about it.
Call the accountant, huh?" So no. We'll see. You know, Mari's hoping. You think the Celtics gonna do it, Marley? I think we got
Celtics and everybody else.
Guy and everybody else,
Celtics
and then I got the Warriors.
Celtics and everybody else. That's what we got.
Well, hopefully we see that.
About the Celtics next round. We're gonna because as they continue to get tighter, we're gonna find out.
Yeah, the playoffs is rolling.
Celtics and who? Who y'all thinking? Celtics and Cavs or Celtics and Knicks?
I think it's OKC.
My boy B.
No. I'm talking about
I think it's gonna be the Cavs. The Cavs.
Okay.
Cavs just too deep. They're gonna railroad some teams. And they might get the Pacers in the next round. They're gonna railroad the Pacers.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I ain't gonna lie, I really forgot the Pacers in the Bucks series.
All right. It's Cavs versus somebody.
Is that what you're going with?
It's gonna be Cavs versus either. I think it's gonna be Cavs versus Boston.
Oh,
yeah.
Hold
on. Yeah. I know B just jumped on. He's on the chat. B was firing stuff on the chat.
It's definitely gonna be some Cavs in Boston for sure.
Really?
He got the association.
Hey, on CP time. My bad, man. CP time.
Knicks and
better late than never. B. Better late than never.
Boston gonna beat the Knicks in like 5, bro. Y'all know that.
I would say Celtics.
Sometimes you just have a team's number.
Hey, Gene. Even if they could, there's no money in them winning in 5. We're gonna see 6 and maybe 7. They're gonna play that. It's the Knicks versus Boston. It's a classic. It's a classic series. They're gonna milk that to as much as they can.
They go 7-11. They're not going to 7.
I don't think that they should go 7, but let me let you know this: the league is going to try to push 7 out of that as best as they can. They're going to try to get because that's the money matcha series. Yeah,
I mean, we gonna lay an egg. We always do. So they're gonna get 1. They might look up and Jalen Brunson hit a game winner. They might.
And now we have 6. We have 6.
That's a baby.
That's 5. They got to give them 1 in New York because they got to get the people what they want.
Because they losing their mind out here in the city.
Oh man,
they losing their mind.
It's about time for a trip out there. Y'all make it to the conference final. I might have to come out. Just to feel the vibe.
Good.
Oh yeah, right if the Knicks make it there, I'm definitely going to one of them games.
Yeah, they not.
No good side. And the court side is ridiculous.
If they can get to Boston, I'm definitely coming out.
Knicks ain't going
to
it ain't gonna be no New York game.
I know. It's gonna be Boston in like 5. We all just talking right now. We know this.
So Boston gonna take it then.
Boston too deep, and they play defense.
That's a fact.
When you say
deep, their team is deep.
They gonna be OKC?
No, I'm saying we talking about the Knicks.
Yes.
Oh. Well, Marley said yes.
We be OKC too. They too young. They ain't been there yet. It's like us when we play Golden State. We ain't been there yet.
I'm gonna be honest. When I was watching the OKC game, and the announcer was like, "Yeah, OKC #1 overall," and I was like, "Wait, what?" I said, "What basketball I've been watching? When did they become #1 overall?"
They came out
of the last season like that.
And SGA's been putting on.
Putting on the show.
Basketball.
And what's crazy about OKC still got a ton of picks. They literally they in the lottery every year, and they just
gonna keep building.
Keep building. Give me that one now.
All right, so the prediction is Cavs and Celtics finals, and
Eastern,
in the Eastern Conference Finals, yeah. And who pulls out? You say Cavs, B?
Absolutely, yeah.
Ain't no way.
Yep.
Ain't no way.
B, you see any path for the Warriors to get to the Western Conference?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I think experience matters. Like that. Yeah.
And who you got in the Western Conference? So who you got in the Western Conference matchup? Who's in the Western Conference? Thinking Warriors and who?
Oh, definitely would be. Oh, I don't know the rankings. I forget the rankings, but it'll be OKC.
I was gonna say,
who would they run into?
I'm thinking OKC. I don't know. I want to say Minnesota,
OKC,
but who is Minnesota? If Minnesota wins, who do they have?
I think they get the Warriors. Actually,
they get the Warriors.
Yeah.
Okay. Minnesota Warriors. That'll be interesting.
It's gonna be a good series.
That's gonna be a banger.
Because Jimmy Butler hate Minnesota with all his life.
Oh yeah. He can stand them young. Can I say the N word? Anyway.
Yes, you can.
Or the Lakers.
Feel free. You at home.
Cat ain't on the team though, so yeah. Because I think
matchup
Cat was somebody he wasn't too fond of when he was with Minnesota. But anyway.
I think they're the big
I'm all grown up now.
I think the Clippers.
I want the Clippers. I really want the Clippers to beat the Nuggets. They really need to stop BSing. They need to stop playing.
The issue is Joker is coaching the team, and that's not a good sign when the best player has to coach the team.
Hey, Gene, you know he called
it didn't work for him so far. They got a 2-1 lead.
And he riding with his boy Westbrook.
They gonna make Joker retire. He gonna be like, I'm not doing this.
They said Joker been listening to Nipsey like this. They said they got him listening to Nipsey Hussle. He ready. He ready.
Joker like, I don't even want to do this no more. I'm over this.
Wow. Joker listening to Nipsey. I love it.
The marathon continues. Let's go, man.
The marathon continues.
Subbing people at the end of the game. No, you get out. You get in.
Calling the plays and all that. All right, well, hey, let's get out of here, man. I love y'all, but let's get out of here. Any final thoughts? We talked to NBA and definitely talked a lot of other stuff, man. But as always, man, I appreciate y'all. We have a great time on here. Talk about some great stuff. So anybody got anything before we jump out of here?
No, I want to clear up something because this has been spreaded around.
I
need people to go out and really read the whole Archie and Eli story. How all that happened. Everybody was saying Archie made the call. Archie had nothing to do with it. It was his agent. And then Archie took the blame for me. It literally is a documentary. It's a 30 for 30 that talks about it.
Okay.
It's like Archie never had anything to do with it. It was an agent. The agent realized the Chargers was a broke organization, which we all knew. He could go to the Giants, who had the second pick, who had way more money. And that was the era of when you didn't have no cap. You had a cap, but you can pay the rookies whatever. And so the agent is the reason he went to the Giants, not his dad. His dad took the blame because of the media, and his dad basically got blackballed from doing any NFL stuff since then. And people don't realize that Archie got blackballed because they weren't paying attention. They saw his sons was in there, but Archie used to be on TV, he used to do commentating, he used to do all that stuff. But after that draft, and they basically put the blame on him, he never got to do any of that stuff again. And they tell you it was never him. It was never him the whole time.
Exclusive.
That was illuminating.
Inside info. Hey, should we be doing any of this?
He just took. I see a lot of people trying to see their comparison, and people been promoting it and pushing it. I'm like, that's not what happened.
I figured there were not necessarily direct parallels. I'm thinking to myself, well, did he ever actually say it? Can we find somewhere where he said my son ain't going? I mean, we know that the trade happened, but I'm like,
and he was like, he just took.
There's definitely no.
He took the blame. He was like, it was me.
Because we know there's a one big difference between that family and what happened to the family. Here, there's one big difference. What? That's one of them. There's many others. You are on Black in Sports. But the other thing is, he's still their father, right? You know what I mean?
Shedeur got his mama hips. He didn't get the athletic genes.
That's why they ain't fast. They're not fast. Okay. I was wondering how none of them came out running.
Boy got his mama hips, boy. I was like, why you got hips? Why you got them childbearing hips? That's why you can't run.
I've been asking my whole time, how did none of them come out fast? And Gene just explained it. That's why none of them fast.
I was like, that's why you're not quick. It's like,
Gene can't be on here no more.
This whole time, I've been asking myself, I said, how they Deion saying?
Can y'all edit? I want only a silhouette in my box when it goes. I just want a silhouette.
We went there.
He got his mom's
pre-show. Ebony and I was talking about it was going to go there. And
I told you today was going to be
there today. We had the pimping and whole business on the damn shit. We had talked about
it. Athletes. Eli and Peyton mama is 5'11". Bro,
well, you know a little
DNA. DNA, baby. It's all about DNA.
Gina did the Stephen A. Smith talking about. I know his mama.
Hey, look, the DNA different in their family. They all married ex-athletes.
Lord have mercy.
Listen,
y'all.
all I'm gonna say is y'all can't say
y'all,
that the Mannings ain't got a little pull, okay? Because that's the reason.
Oh, they
that's why my
definitely
Panthers
do.
lost
Hey, look, until a man is blocked,
They got that wet.
until a man play a flop, ain't nothing we can say.
Well, I'm gonna go check out that documentary. I definitely want to check out that documentary.
Right.
Me
I mean,
too.
he stopped Tom Brady from getting 10. So shout out to Eli.
That part.
They did.
Listen, EJ, for the next live, that's the homework assignment. Everybody got to go watch the 30 for 30. You can't be on if you ain't watched the 30 for 30.
I'm gonna put that in the email. Did y'all watch the 30
for 30? Did you watch the 30 for 30?
You can be on.
Hey,
I'm gonna call it the 30 for 30.
Hey, cutie
That's how we
pie.
say it in Mississippi.
Hey, cutie pie.
30.
Oh, wow.
That's what's up. I love it.
Came in
Love
at the
it.
right time. She knew her dad was showing out.
That was going on for. I love it. All right. Last call, hearts and minds. That was a good one, though, Gino. You dropped that. We definitely are gonna have to go check that one out. That 30 for 30. Should definitely gonna put that in the show notes. Anything else for the hearts and minds of everyone?
I just would want to say this, man. It sucks that it's our reality, but like Jigga said in 444, man, at the end of the day, we still, and so know where you at, know the game you playing, and play by their rules when you have to until you can change the rules. And Deion learned that in a very difficult way on a very public stage, but you got to know the rules of the game that you're playing, and in any industry that you're in, respect those rules, play by those rules until you can change the rules. And when you can change them, open it up to bring your people in. But until that, then you just got to keep it pushing and play by their rules, because everybody don't get to change the game. And just because you think you can, know you can before you step out there. And that's in any industry. It just happened to be that this was our example of it. But in any industry that you're in, realize who you are and what game you got to play in the rules of that game. Because if not, then it can cost you a lot at the end.
Listen, we didn't even need that because we know who our president is, and we saw that. We saw that.
Hey, the president tweeted though. He tweeted. He said, "Hey man, why they ain't draft that brother yet?" I said, "Hey,
look, that's because they like this, but that's a whole different conversation."
Oh Lord, now we got more homework.
I did hear even when he was at Jackson State that he was quite the conservative. I mean, hey, I ain't gonna judge Deion for that. Like it is. I mean, it is what it is.
You conservative, but you got to understand what that financially does to the rest of the community. It's not just about the finances; it's about what their social policies are and how that affects us as a community.
Deion say it must be the money. He told y'all.
Ebony, I say it to you like this, Ebony. It only works, like your girl said, if it's a family. And when it's not, you got to protect your own. So if we all can beat to the same, if we all can dance to the same beat, then you go out there and you go on that path. But when you know, like I know, at the end of the day, for us as our people, it's so easy to divide us. You got to protect your own first.
It's very easy.
You do.
Yeah.
You do.
And so you can't go out there and say, yeah, I'm gonna make my decisions based on our culture, because our culture has often showed that when you make that decision, you end up on that island by yourself. So when we can band together, because we wouldn't be in this situation if we banded together, right? So a part of that is, hey, pick your side, choose your side, ride your side, stand up on principle. Don't shade. Now, if Deion was like, oh no, I'm not fooling with that, then I would be like, hey man, you selling us something that ain't the truth. But if that's what you're doing, just know why you're doing it and pick your side, stick with it, and fuck around and find out, because we're finding out right now. So that part right there. So, hey, some people got on the other side of the line and they got to live with that decision for the next 4, maybe forever. But when you make those type of decisions, you can't also put the culture at the front of your decisions, because the culture often, for us, leaves you outside hanging out sometimes on the wrong side of the line because they jump ship when it's best.
I always say, I'm gonna be good either way. I'm trying to help the group, but I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna make sure I got mine.
Yes,
I'm gonna eat.
And for my Chiefs fans, I know they've been cheating for a long time, that showed up today and stood on business. Hey, I ain't mad at you. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I say it to my daughter every day. So do what you got to do to get chips. You know what I'm saying? And if we're going back and we terminate
how old is your daughter?
Huh? Oh, she 10. She 10, but she balling. So I tell her, like, hey, it's gonna be times out there where you're gonna have to do something that you ain't supposed to do that I'm telling you not to do to get that W. And when we get home, we'll talk about it. But you're gonna be all right with me. So you know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
So wait, Burley, a Chiefs fan, Boston fan.
I had a great 2024. I had a great 2024.
Dodgers fan. Now I'm going fair weather.
No, I'm not Dodgers fan.
Okay. I was about to say
I'm a Mets fan. I can say that proudly right now. But we still at the beginning of the season.
For now.
Yeah, the early part of the season.
Shut up, EJ. Anybody ask you?
Yeah, we rolling with you right now, Ebony. Somewhere about game 102, we'll be like,
I know. She said, I know.
I'm not even going to worry about later on. I'm just going to be happy now.
Has Soto
With
hit
that being said, Ebony, I was in your city not too long ago, so I'm going to have to connect you with you when I come back out because I didn't get a chance to hit you up.
So, listen, make sure you do that.
Yeah,
make sure we all connect always. So if there's somebody you're in the city, please let us know. Let me know. Make sure everybody connects because that's what it's about. I appreciate you all. And, let's kind of get out of here and get ready for April. I mean, for May, my bad. Thank you all for jumping on. Hey, it's been a long one,
Go get something to eat, EJ.
Bye, y'all.
Like that second one.
Jesus.
Light nigga, dark nigga, full nigga, real nigga, rich nigga, poor nigga, house nigga, field nigga.
Where you playing at?
Field nigga.
I don't forget.